Welcome back to another episode of Jedi Academy. As always, it's me, the Smithie D, and we've got a big panel again today, and we're going to answer all your questions. And starting off with the panel, we have Remon. Remon, how you doing, buddy?
Doing good, Smithie. Thanks for having me, man.
Yeah, man. Glad you're on. How did your stream go on Thursday?
We actually, I had a Galactic War live stream on Thursday, which went poorly at first. I kind of had a little bit of a glitch problem, and then I figured it out. I had a nice stream, but then we were supposed to have an Alliance stream last night, and we had some technical difficulties with the streaming software. So we're going to try to get that fixed up, and then try to stream again tonight at 8:30.
Nice. So are you excited? New game mode's coming out at some point. Wow, I cannot wait. What's your thoughts on it?
Yeah, I'm actually super ramped up. I think there's a shot that it could be maybe some sort of a either a new type of PvP or maybe something that involves guild versus guild. That'd be awesome. We've been asking for that for a long time.
Definitely. So let's have a look who else we have, because we've all kind of come in late. So, and then we're going to go with Mike. Mike, you were here as well. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing well, mate. Yeah, I am. I like long weekend holidays, and I'm Easter, on one of those now. It's Easter, so what's not to like?
Anyone get you any chocolate eggs?
Long weekend and an overdose on chocolate. I mean, come on.
Yeah, I don't think I've actually got any Easter eggs. Probably too old for it now. I don't know.
Hashtag send Smithie an Easter egg.
Oh, no, it's cool. I don't really eat chocolate anyway. Probably why I haven't got any. And again, we've got joining us, we have Warrior.
Hey, what's happening, everybody? How's it going? Am I sounding okay?
You sound better than usual.
Better than usual. Oh, I sound terrible, obviously. No, I'm just kidding. So obviously, yeah, I'm joining, and we're going to do a lot of theory crafting today, so I'm pretty excited about that, with the possibility of some new additions into the game, so pretty cool.
Yeah, definitely. So what you been up to lately, buddy? Have you been watching Star Wars Celebration?
Honestly, I've been at work, and I had a work meeting this week. I had to drive to Denver for and back, and all I've had time this week to do is actually roster reviews. I got 8 of them done. I have to keep going with those, man. They just keep piling up.
Yeah.
I do 8 of them a week, and it seems like I have another 8 to 16 people join a week. So it's cool that my community's growing, and all of that. So it's awesome, but they're time consuming. I do spend approximately 1 hour minimum per roster, and some of them I spend up to 2 hours on theory crafting and stuff before I make the video. And I'm trying to really tailor it specific to the person, but I got to come up with some other videos that are regular videos, because I always do a 50-50 mix, and I ran out of my regular videos, so I got to do some arena battles and stuff like that. So
Yeah,
That's a commitment, man. If your Patreon like really blows up, you're gonna end up having to do like 5 reviews at once in one video.
yeah, I think it's at a pretty decent pace. I mean, at first it went from no patron 20 to 50 to 100. So I think I've kind of got that scale up pretty fast. But now it's every time I release a video, I get probably 4 to 8 more. So it's now at least evened out to where it's like what's going in is coming out. Before it was I would do 2 and I'd get 10 people join. So at least now I'm doing 8, getting 8 kind of thing. So I've found the magic number to make sure that everybody's getting taken care of in an appropriate time.
I think it's really cool. I think it's really cool what you're doing.
Definitely, man. And if it's only an hour, it takes me like to do an arena review. It takes me like 7-8 hours. Oh, I'm so stacked behind on them. I've got so many to do. I wish I could just bash them out as quick as possible, so I can get them done. But they're fun.
Well, I minimize my editing. I mean, I edit them because there's a lot of pauses in between when I'm doing transitions and stuff. But I'm not throwing a bunch of like hoopla editing in there. I'm taking the video, putting it into Adobe Premiere, and just hacking out all of the excess unnecessaries and then jamming it all together, putting a few transitions in, and I'm done. There's still 60 cuts. I mean, so for people that are like, oh, that's an easy video to make, I mean, there's still 60 cuts, and it's the easiest video I can make. So I mean, it's, if people don't know about editing, they don't realize how much time and work actually go into these things.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, we could do a roasting, couldn't we, of all of our own squads? Ooh, I didn't say that.
Okay, so we're moving on, and again we've got with us Ranger.
Oh my god! I just got back from Toshi Stations buying some power converters, and I'm here.
Cool. How you been? How are
I'm
them
doing good, man. I am. Say that again.
How are them converters?
They're awesome. I'm just super stoked, man. Just been watching Celebration. Damn, I can't. It's been amazing so far. Got a little bit of. I was listening yesterday as I gave a little bit of sneak peek of what's coming up with Star Wars Galaxy Heroes. I'm super stoked for today as they are going to be talking about Rebels. All right. So yeah, it's Star Wars. The more Star Wars stuff I get, the junkie in me gets to stick that needle in his arm a little bit more and keep the addiction going.
Definitely.
We're supposed to get a Rebels trailer today, right?
Yes, sweet buttercups. Yes.
Wow. I'll probably be watching a little bit more of it today. Probably going to watch Originals. I don't know if anyone watches that, like Vampire Diaries. Love it. But and hey, what can I say? It is a good TV series. It's like Smallville. I'm into all that stuff, DC and all that. So I watch all Supernatural stuff, even Supernatural.
Oh, I love Supernatural. Don't get that's different. It's like crazy. Carry on, my wayward son.
I was brought up as I was born in '86, so my kind of thing my mum always used to put on the TV was Lost Boys. So I kind of like just grew up around the Supernatural order.
Lost Boys is a brilliant film, though.
Yeah, it is.
Love that movie.
So good. Oh God. All right, let's get off memory lane. Good God.
Yeah. And we got again with us Bella. How you doing today, Bella?
Yeah, I'm great. I just finished cutting about 1 kilogram of herbs for a traditional Easter sauce. So I've been a bit busy. It's a kind of sauce with yogurt and some spices, and you eat it with meat or fish or egg, and it's very common here for Easter.
Oh my God!
But it's like a huge bowl filled with 7-8 different kinds of herbs, special mix.
Pretty amazing.
Yeah, and you guys, you must all be dark side, because I've got a lot of crackling today in the line. Like crackling.
We forgot to pay the bill.
Actually, surprisingly, the only person I hear crackling is the one and the only Smithie D.
Me? Yeah. I'm crackling.
Maybe it's Smithie. I don't know.
You sure?
Take the wrapper off the mic, Smithie.
What? You can hear crackling? Really?
Yeah, it's pretty bad, dude. Everybody else is crystal clear, and you're almost. We can't almost tell what you're saying.
Okay, let's have a look. See if we can fix that. No, I probably can't fix it right now. Am I still crackling right now?
Yeah.
Really? It's a brand new mic.
I think it's probably the settings or something. It's a little robotic staticky.
Hopefully the stream's okay. That's the main thing.
Yeah, that's fine.
We're gonna like phone a friend and ask the audience. Can you guys hear some crackling? No one said anything, so I'm happy with that.
Well, it's delayed. Let's give it a moment.
We just had a hello from Australia.
Oh, snap.
G'day, mate. Sorry.
Hey, Aaron.
Embassy online one.
So we're going to look through these questions.
Just try disconnecting your mic and then reconnecting it. See if that works.
It probably would, but it could crash my entire whole setup as well.
Yeah, let's not get crazy here.
I can do that if someone wants to take up a question. Take one off the chat.
Oh well,
so
I wasn't prepared for such a thing. Let me look. Let me see what First question. Let me look. I'm sorry. Talk
So
some
it's going to
emoji
be.
sales. I'll give you
I'm going to throw this at you guys, and I'm going to sort my mic out. So, do you?
They say you're okay, Smithie.
Yeah, I'm okay. Okay, that's cool. So the first question was at myself. It says, Smithy D, did you ask about the presumed Via's rework? So this is going to a kind of like conversation that someone's gone and asked a little bit of information at Star Wars Celebration. But no, I wasn't there, and nobody that I know of has asked anything about Via's rework or been told of what's going on over there. So we're going to move on. That question was from Rob Martinez. And we're going to go on now to Kuzman, the legend. What do you think is best way to transition between teams without dropping rank? Smith flawed because I am grooming Chase Silo, and I've just lost the whole question because I hate my computer.
I think we just kind of got the gist of it, right?
I think I understand the question. I mean, who was the question for?
Just anyone generally. You can all just beat between yourselves on it.
Well, I'll tell you what I do. I mean, if I'm transitioning between arena teams, I typically will not put in my new team until about like 2 or 3 a.m. and just do like a little testing, like late at night, and just see if they're ready. Obviously once they're ready, I mean, you can throw your team out there and leave them out just to see if they hold overnight. I mean, it's something you're going to have to test out. But I mean, by holding, I don't mean that you're going to be undefeated. I'm just saying that you'll stay in the top 10 or the top 5, throughout the duration of the day. Yeah, most of the time in the past, if I'm rolling out a team that I don't really want people to know about, or if I'm rolling out a team that I'm trying to just test out, and I don't think is really prepared to like sit there because I'll get knocked back really far. I usually try to do that during the wee hours of the night, so there's not a lot of action going on. At that point, I can try out a couple of things, try out different teams that I want to hit, and then I can just put my regular team back in for the rest of the day, and then just keep working on that team. That's just my opinion.
Nice. Ranger, can you see the questions?
I can't see the questions.
Did you want to read them off?
Yeah,
I don't know.
I'm looking for them.
Does anyone actually know this? Why YouTube on the live chat is getting rid of my questions when I'm getting more chats added? Like it's only got space for a certain amount. Does anyone know what that is? Because this is happening every single week, and it's only on my stream. It doesn't happen on yours, Ranger. I can see all the way back to the beginning, but on mine.
I'll tell you what I do. I mean, if I'm transitioning between arena teams, I typically will not put in my new team.
All right, so do you want me to read the questions, bro, while you're trying to figure out the issue?
Yeah, man, go for it. If you read a question, I'll read the next one.
Okay. Let's see here. This is from Lego County fan. That is the greatest. That's a great name, my friend. Thrawn or Price? Who would be a better addition into the game in your opinion? It wasn't directed to anybody specifically, so this is from Remon. Let's hear from Miss Bella. Who would you like to see? Doth.
I want to see Thrawn. That's a clear answer because he could have a capital ship, and we are missing a second dark side capital ship.
That's a really, really good point.
Was it called Chameleon or something like that? I can't remember the exact name of his capital fleet ship.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a new book out next month, I think, by
it's already
Thrawn.
out, isn't it?
Yeah, there is.
Would be,
from the original author.
I'm still on the first. There was a trilogy, and I'm still reading that. So, but I think that would be a good addition.
There you go. Anybody else?
I'm just reading up who Price is.
Mike,
get out.
Mike, what do you think then?
Yeah, mate. I'd probably say Thrawn. I would like to see him have a capital ship because that's what he's known for. I would probably say he's going to be a fleet commander. And the great thing about that is, what do you get from these events? Well, we're probably going to get some Omegas like last time, some materials, and some shards for Thrawn, and his capital ship, just like start us off, and hopefully that stays in fashion with the kind of like previous capital ships. It may not, it may be a different way altogether, but we should get some shards or some from an event for him, if there is one in place.
All right, so let's go to the next question. What do you think about Ghost? I'm assuming this is Ghost the ship and not about Ghost in general, which are terrifying and can take your soul. This is from Tobias Reach. And let's go to Warrior on this one. What do you think about the new Ghost ship?
Off the top of my head, I can't remember which is which. There's the Phantom 2 and the Ghost. One Taunson is smaller and the other one is larger and has an AoE. So I can't remember the name of which. I'm sorry, I haven't got to see Rebels yet because I don't have cable, but I am planning on watching Rebels. But the one that has the AoE that can do massive damage to everybody and ability block them, and as long as they're target locks, they get ability block and criticals. That ship, that AoE, it looks actually better than the Millennium Falcon Episode 7 that's in the game. So I love it. The problem with this is, and I guess the company wouldn't say it's a problem, but you got to get their characters up because the ships are relatively powered based off their crew. The crew is 65% of the actual equation. It's like 65-35. And so if you're more than half of the equation sucks, then your ship's always just going to be underpowered. And so what I've noticed, and I have a bunch of theory crafters, and I'm not going to go into a ton of what they've already done, but there's a couple people who've already maxed these ships out and a couple people who already have the characters maxed and the ships not maxed. And they said that basically the kits are overpowered. However, if you only have it at the 3 or 4 star rate, they're going to be underpowered and not survive. The survivability of the ship isn't good enough to allow you to have time to use the kits. But if you can get it to 7 stars, the kits are amazing, and you're going to love the ships in the game. But you've really got to get them. So what I'm saying is if you are going to go a Rebels squad in ships, then you're going to have to unfortunately put the new characters into your favorites tab and start gearing them to get them to at least gear 10, all of them to at least gear 10 and their abilities to level 7. So that way you can utilize those ships in a few months when they become free to play and farmable, because the ships will be farmable in the next 6 weeks in theory. So definitely prep yourself and get ready for an amazing squad. But for now, I wouldn't, and I'm not going to run out and spend, $1,000 to level up a couple ships. It's just, it's madness.
That's right. And then for you, my friend Warrior from Team Instinct, I'm going to link you the Rebel season so you can watch it. Damn it, you've got to get caught up on this stuff.
Oh man. I want to see it because the thing is Rebels, and I've seen a lot of it on YouTube, like snippets. It's everything you've ever wanted Jedi to be, but the Jedi aren't in other shows. And so it's like you have to watch it for the Jedi themselves. But I have no access to it unless I'm going to hack the internet. Yeah, dude, totally help me out with that, please.
I got you, brother, man. Come on now.
And I can't wait to see it because I've seen a lot of snippets, and man, I tell you what, they make me excited for those characters for sure.
I know. And they're going to have the panel here starting soon. We'll talk afterwards. I got you, brother. All right, awesome. Andrew Larson says, question. And we're going to direct this one at the Smith Lord himself, Smithie D. Question. EA says that one of the new characters coming soon, I remember seeing this yesterday, will be an ability never before seen. What do you think it could be? What have we not seen?
we haven't seen a lot when it comes to Star Wars with the abilities they have. We could probably dive into all day what some Jedi abilities have. Like you've got Mace that has V-Pad. Yeah, you've got Quinlan Voss where he's able to kind of mimic abilities and stuff and get information. So there's a lot in this game. I have zero idea what the extra ability could be, but if it's an extra ability that's never been seen before, it's probably going to be meta defining. That's what I would take from that, is one of those characters could be meta defining if they've got an ability, and depends what the ability is. If it's a unique that, for example, affects the entire enemy team and it's just a unique, like a Barriss, then it's going to be a key player in squads. So yeah, depending what it is, it could be absolutely anything, but there's so many possibilities. I could sit there probably for about 10 hours talking about it could be this, it could be that, it could be this. I wouldn't be able to really know or put my finger on where they would take the game or what mechanic they would use on that one.
Okay. All right. Let's go to the next one. This is from Mean Streak. And we're starting with Mike, but it's a question for the panel. What teams, comps do you love or hate going up against an arena, and why?
That's really simple for me to answer. I would say Darth Maul with a Zeta lead with a Sith. I'm so dodgy that no one can touch me. Trooper. Drives me nuts.
Let's go around the panel. Any other comps or teams that you just go, oh God? Or it does say love or hate going up against an arena.
Yeah, the thing is with Maul that I don't know if everyone's aware of, that you've got his 20% lead evasion, and everyone's like, it's because of his lead, it's this. But he's actually got a unique, so when he kills, like, is it one or two of your characters, he gets an additional 25% evasion. So he's sitting at, like, 45% evasion, and that's why, my friends, he dodges so much. Because he's got, like, 45% evasion. It's crazy.
Mm-hmm. Anybody else?
I just had two sentences on that. I believe, and again, the company is going to tell you this doesn't exist because they have official stances, but I believe that when you're on offense, it's coded to work properly. And I believe when the team is on defense, we know defensive teams, the AI doesn't play as well and they don't hold as well. And so I believe that internally they have all of the statistics for like crits and dodge doubled. I think that it says win on defense, double these X stats, win on offense, normal stats. I think that they have that coded in there. I could be wrong, but I believe so because, when I have my Darth Maul, he dodges appropriately. Now, I know why they would do that, and it makes sense because it's harder to dig through that team, and that's kind of the point since you don't have someone playing that character or that team. But I go against these Darth Maul leads, and these teams are good, but they're not modded like mine, and they're not geared like mine and everything. And I'm trying to whack away, and I literally went 13 attempts without hitting a single character, and I'm just like, this is a statistical anomaly, is what they would say. But I believe it's because it's been coded to be twice as effective on defense, and so that 20% evasion becomes 40%, which is nearly half the time, which is exactly what I'm tracking when I do track those fights. So like I said, it's just me throwing that out of speculation, and they'd probably deny it.
No, I'm going to back you up on that because I do notice that the dodge and everything is significantly higher on when you're facing someone on defense than it's
and
like.
Then the only thing about that is it's just irritating. Dodge is irritating. It's fun to use that team, but it sucks to go against that team. Just like it sucked to go against Dooku. I hated Dooku back in the day. He is irritating as hell watching him swing away 4 times in a row. Or the old Ben meta. I don't know. It's like, fight like a man, stand there.
Yeah,
take my hits.
Take it.
Stand still so I can bring thee. All right. Anybody else love or hate?
Yeah.
Bella.
I was not mentioning a certain team, but I generally hate to go against an auto taunter with when the team has real good speed mods and maybe debuff AOE, because then you kind of sit in a trap. You have to finish this taunter, and you can't really do any damage. It can be a light side or dark side.
Yeah,
but that's tricky.
That's a great point. All right. Anybody else? All right. Anybody? Okay. This next question is, I think, for the panel. It comes from our boy MJ. How about the Last Jedi trailer? I'm trying to do a rotation here. Remon, have you seen the Last Jedi trailer?
Oh yeah.
I mean,
it looks amazing. I mean, obviously, I feel like I had a good idea that it was going towards gray, like the Jedi were going to be no more after this. So I'm excited to see how they're going to do that.
Yeah, on that part, first I was like, well, maybe they are going to go back to their Jedi roots, but then I think this is all the beginning of the movie, and the first thing Luke says to her is like, "I'm not going to train you," and then he's like, "Okay, I'll train you," kind of like what they did in Empire Strikes Back on Family Guy. No, not train you. I'll teach you the ways of the Force. Okay, I'll teach you the ways of the Force.
Okay. Yes, I'll help you.
I think it was the old bait and switch where they're trying to get you to think about something like that, to speculate and stuff. But I think that they could be going that route because they have introduced the Bendo and Rebels. The balance, the way the Jedi used to be when they were called Jedi. They've been slowly introducing that kind of stuff. Smithie, what are your thoughts on the? I'm sure you. God, I hope you've seen it, Smithie. The Last Jedi trailer. If you haven't, I'm going to throttle you.
Last night I was actually gonna do a analysis of it, but I just didn't know how it would be received on my channel. I may still do it, but I kind of like looked at it, and what I've seen so far is the very opening shot looks like the cave on Dagobah. So that's kind of her test. We all know Luke failed in the cave, and it kind of seems like how she's entered out of that cave. Again, I think that she's failed, and the part that we see Kylo Ren, that possibly could be Kylo Ren she sees in the cave, because the scar on his kind of eye is very, very small compared to the kind of big gash that he took at the end of Force Awakens. You also see a shot where Luke's looking at the Jedi Temple as it's burning, but we've seen another shot from another angle where he puts his hand on R2 and you've got all the kind of like flame and ashes, but in the trailer we get to see from behind him as he looks. Then it cuts to Captain Phasma, and I would say Captain Phasma's not part of the scene on the temple, but it would be actually on the Resistance ship where Poe's ship's been exploded, because you've got the light right in the corner, like on a starship. So it looks like they're entering the kind of like Resistance main ship, and they're coming through the flames. That's what it looks like to me. It looks like it's kind of going to have a showdown where you see Rey running, and then you hear about Snoke kind of like saying that we're going to get rid of the Jedi towards the end, and that was kind of me, that kind of like a nod, because in the last one he wouldn't let Kylo go to Luke. He was just pretty much like, no, you're not going. But now it looks like he's now ready for Kylo to attack where Luke is. So I think that's going to play out kind of like a key element to the film, that it's going to be pretty much all based on the planet that they're on, and it's going to be a whole film of training, and you're going to have one of those films like Empire, where it's kind of like you've got one thing going on here, one thing going there, and then you've got like 3 different or 4 different stories all going into one film, and then they'll kind of all join up at some point.
Yeah.
But I liked seeing the Falcon. So is that going to be Chewie and Finn?
We don't know.
Yeah.
We don't know. There's a lot of stuff in the air. I think we're all super duper excited. Yeah, I think I had a stroke yesterday, and then I recovered. All right. So, but yeah, we're going to cover that a lot tonight in our stream. We're breaking down Celebration a lot. So you can come on by, Smithie. We can talk and talk and talk.
Yeah.
All right. Next question. Let's see. We did just who we start off for? Remon? Yeah. Warrior. Should I buy this from JP Too Easy? Should I buy the Cassian ship pack?
If you have all of the pilots like maxed out, then the ship's very good. It has a very good kit, and it's one of the better kits in the Rebel ships. So, it's in the top 3 ships for kits, I think, in my opinion. So if you have all of the characters maxed out like I did, then maybe so you can get used to the ship. But at 4 stars, again, this is like the new Rebel ships. At 4 stars, Cassian's ship's an easy target for them to kind of target and take out quickly. Just like Darth Vader's ship is. I think everybody understands Darth Vader's ship is OP as far as the kit, but the squishiness of it is ridiculous. I mean, 2-shot kill. I just did a video where I 2-shot killed another person's Darth Vader on the very first opening act, and they didn't even get a chance to use their Darth Vader. And like that's just what happens with these ships. They got really good kits, but they're really squishy. So you're gonna have to do things like double taunts and whatnot. But for sure, Cassian's ship's kit is viable. I got some of the best theory crafters in the game using it and trying it, and they know it works well. But again, these are also people that are willing to spend $600 on a drop of a bucket to get this character in their their ship to 7 stars. And at 4 stars, it's on the edge. It's on the edge. It's sort of viable and sort of not. So this is the deal. If you're in the top 50 of your ship shard, probably at 4 stars, not going to be viable and probably worth just waiting. If you're in the top 500 and you're wanting a really good ship that you can crew up, then and you have the ships, then buy it absolutely, because it is different when you're in the top 500. A 5-star ship or a 4-star ship is more than sufficient. And it's going to be tanky enough as long as you have the crew. So if you have the crew, and depending upon where you sit in your arena, that's would be the determining factor as to whether you should buy or not. There's just so many things that go into a buying decision. Do you spend money or not? If you don't, then don't. If you do, then do. If you're one of the Dolphins that are really struggling with that decision, do you have the pilots? Yes. Check, move on. Do it like a diagram. Are you in the top 5 or top 10? Yes, then don't buy. No, then do buy. You know what I mean? It's one of those things you got to analyze it. But there you go. There's your analysis for you.
Good job. All right, next question. We'll go to Mike on this. Does stagger stick on the battle droid in P3?
I don't know.
No.
I haven't.
Anybody?
No, it doesn't. Stagger doesn't stick onto any raid boss because
Deathmark does, though, doesn't it? I believe. I'm pretty sure I'm pretty sure I've had confirmed that Deathmark does. So in some ways, I'd be surprised if it didn't.
Deathmark, I don't think goes on to the main bosses, because even if it did, it would be like hitting Kylo Ren. It's reduced because it's like the expose. It's reduced by a massive percent.
All right. All right, next question from Cam Mitch. The last question was from good old Maurice. This one's from Cam Mitch. And we're going to go to Bella. Bella, why can't we get 7-star capital ships? What's the deal? Why can't we get them?
The answer is really easy. Because!
It's the same reason why we don't have 6 and 7 dot mods.
Or Gear 12 characters.
Or why we don't have level 90 in the game yet. There's got to be potential. You got to leave it open for a little expansion potential, and I think they wanted to cap it early on to 6 stars.
Yeah.
So they have somewhere to go with those.
All right.
Can I add something to that, though, quickly?
Is it with an exclamation point?
No.
Yeah,
no.
more.
It was just a continuation. About have any of you bought the 2 the Ghost and Phoenix packs and got your Zeta or whatever it is for ships?
Yes, I did buy both of the ship packs specifically for those 16 ship Zetas. And yes, it is not prestige. And yes, it is worth the $20 for the 16 pieces of prestige. It truly is. And if you have Biston's ship, that is the best bang for your buck with all the turn meter edition you can get with your Omegas. And if not, everybody's running Scimitar now. You could do the Scimitar. So that's what I did. I spent the 20 for those Zetas and did the Scimitar abilities.
So I was looking at the additional 15% damage on 5s.
Yeah, I was wondering myself, like, what do you guys think is the best? Like, if you only had one, because when you get the 2 packs, you can only do 1 Zeta ability, right?
No, you can do up to 2. I did 2. It just depends on which Zeta's what. Most of them are for 10s. There's one for 10.
So what do you think are the best? What do you think are the best Zetas to get?
Biston's number 1 with his evasion, and 5s with his plus 15% damage. Those 2 are tied for number 1, in my opinion. Absolutely best bang for your buck. Everybody else is like plus 5 protection or plus 5 damage. They're junk comparatively. Those are the best 2 right there. Biston if you use them. If not, 5s with the extra 15% damage.
So just coming back to what we were saying, Knights Templars confirming that Deathmark does. He's used Death Trooper and it does. So it might be dependent on, maybe Stagger doesn't, but yeah.
Yeah, Deathmark it'd be reduced because it's like exposed, so it won't do high damage.
Yeah, you only do 1% of the normal damage. Yeah.
So awesome. Minimal.
All right. This next question is we'll go to the Smith Lord. This is from Saladin Abdullah. He says, well, the possibility of an ability we have not seen in the Star Wars SWGOH could possibly be something like counterattack, or could it be every enemy or a unique like Sabine's having armor? What do you think of those as the possibility of the unnamed ability?
It's really difficult to even kind of like branch out because there are so many things that we could think that an ability could have, and it could be something different that we haven't thought of. One, I would need to know really who that ability is going on to the character, because we know so far it's going to be 2 fan favorites, but which fan favorites and then which ability is it going to go on? I could probably narrow it down to what the ability probably should be if I know the character, but not knowing the characters and not knowing which ability that's going to be going on to, it's very hard, because for all we know it could be Revan, and his unique ability could be that he can get synergy from Sith and Jedi, you know? So there is endless of what characters it could be, but if you narrowed it down as fan favorites, there's not too many, but the kind of like answer of fan favorite is very vague. Is it a fan favorite of Star Wars universe, or is it a fan favorite of SWGOH, or is it even a fan favorite of Knights of the Old Republic? So it could be any of them.
What you can also look at is like what exactly constitutes a fan favorite? I mean, like to the guys at EACG. I mean, they may think that like a fan favorite is
C3PO.
Boss.
Typical Boss, yeah.
They may think a fan favorite is Wicked. I mean, so you don't know. I mean,
definitely.
to them, like the Inquisitor number 3 could be a fan favorite. I mean, so we don't know. But I mean, would it be nice if it was Jedi Luke or maybe a different version of Leia, or maybe obviously, I've heard a lot of I've heard I'd have to say the most I've seen requested from as far as like the game is concerned is Jango Fett and Luke. Those are the 2 that I see requested the most.
I'm Revan, of course.
Yes, God, please, Revan.
Yeah, absolutely.
Please. All right. Next question. We're going to go right back to you, Remon. This is from Bob H. Bob. What's the best way to mod Chase?
I'm actually probably the worst person to ask this question because I don't run Chase. Yeah. I mean, in my opinion, I would say the best way to mod them would be with health mods and speed. I mean, that would my opinion, because I mean, obviously there's a lot of health regeneration there. I mean, the bigger health pool they have, the more those percentages are going to increase. And I mean, obviously speed on every character, secondary speed at least. So I mean, I would go with health and protection with Baze. I mean, Baze doesn't necessarily have to be super fast. I mean, you kind of want him to be slow at first, so his taunt. I mean, you could do it a couple of different ways, but it also really depends on your shard. I mean, if you're facing a lot of Darth Maul Zeta teams, you may want to mod differently. But there's people on the panel here, like I know Warrior runs a Chase team, and I think Smithie's got some experience with them, probably better than I do.
Well, anything you guys anybody on the panel want to input their thoughts on that question?
If Warrior wanted to go first, or I can go first. Warrior hasn't spoken in a while, so you go for it, man.
Why don't you go ahead and go first, and then I'll follow?
Yeah, so there's currently different ways that you can mod Baze. You could put loads of speed on him, or you could make him slow. It just depends on definitely your shard, and it depends on your team. Me personally, because I want to move away from this kind of whole Zol thing, and I want to have a General Kenobi lead, I want to put as much health as I can on Baze, so he's over 40k, and then from his unique, the more health he's got, that 20% is going to not only carry on to Baze, but it's going to carry over to Sharut as well. So they're going to get Sharut's going to get a 20% health increase of Baze, so I'm going to put as much health as I can. That means I'm going to stay away from the protection, because in my opinion, if you're running Sharut, you don't really need protection. That's not really going to regain if you don't have a gen lead. So I'm going to go with lots of health, and that's going to be health secondaries, health mod types, and it's also going to be health percentages. And you could probably get him with mods around about 40k. Then he's going to get additional 20% on top of that. 20% of that 40k is going to be carried over to Shrewd. Shrewd's going to heal him, put healing over time on him, and you can make him really beastly. And his protection will probably sit around 30k, but you're going to have a massive health pool. And then under a General Kenobi lead as well with a Zeta Barris, yeah, it's going to be a hard cookie to crack. And then you just put Nihilus in the back somewhere, and he's just chilling out, just like one striking everyone here and there. But go for it, Warrior.
So you kind of focused on Baze only, which is good because then I'll take Chirrut, and I think that's an excellent idea on Baze. He does not have to be fast. He'll probably shoot more than anybody else on your team, and he's probably going to be the slowest on your team. So don't worry about the speed, like he said. Have a great angle. For Chirrut, so basically there's a huge dispute about critical chance mods, critical damage mods, offense mods. Like when is it more appropriate to do offense versus critical chance or critical damage? And there's a threshold, there's a breaking point in the math where once you get over 40%, it's about 44% of critical chance, you're more likely to do the critical damage consistently enough that it's actually more effective to do critical chance over offense. If you're under that 40%, 44% threshold, offense mods are always going to be better because it's raising your base stat on all of your non-crit damage and your crit damage alike. So you want to get your critical chance, and good thing is with Chirrut, he has a high critical chance naturally. It's over 30% already out the gate. So what I did is one set of critical damage, that's 4, and I did one set of critical chance, that's 2, and then I did critical damage in the slot, and I used as much speed secondaries and critical chance secondaries as possible. Now my critical chance is at 46%, which is where it needed to be, higher than 44%, and my critical damage ended up being 216%. This is why I can literally, to some characters, do 64k on his special hit, but I average around 30k on that hit, even on tanks, when he crits. And he crits, so about 50, like I said, 50% of the time. So critical chance, critical damage, get your critical chance over 44%. Now, if you're one of those guys with mods that are less than stellar, and you're putting the how I said on, and your critical chance at 33% or 35%, switch that triangle critical damage out for a critical chance out. So that way you get that critical chance high enough to make it worthwhile. And then speed is super important because he's a cleanser, and you're going to want him to be using that as often as possible. He does a lot of damage, and he has special abilities. So if you could get it, ideally, between 175 to 225 in that range, that's going to really help him to go a lot in the game and keep up with all the other fast characters.
All right.
Well said, man.
Good. And we will see the next question here. I think it is Warrior's turn. So, Warrior, here you go, buddy. Question. I'm running a 5-star Gear 11 Baze and a 4-star Gear 11 Chirrut with a Zal Vader and EP. I'm almost at Gear 11 Nihilus and a Gear 11 Xylo. Who should I replace?
If you're going to put Nihilus in, I would actually replace one of your Sith with Nihilus. The Chirrut and Baze backup really keeps everybody alive, cleansed, and auto taunter to keep them alive as well. I don't know. I run a Chirrut Baze with my Sith a lot, and it's very effective. But if you're gonna replace Baze or you're gonna replace Chirrut, you better replace them both. Just go ahead and throw in Nihilus and Xylo as your double replacement. But if you're not, then put Nihilus in for one of your Sith that you currently have. And his 3 Sith were Maul lead, and then Emperor Palpatine, and who else?
Vader.
I would take Vader out for Nihilus if that was my squad.
Awesome. All right, let's move on. This is for everybody, but we'll start with Mike. Who do you guys reckon I should farm while there are double drops in the cantina?
Oh, wow. I would say Death Trooper if you're on 8, because you've got Death Trooper shards, and I'm doing a series. I'm recording every single one, going for the Omegas as well.
Have you got any yet?
3. I got
Are they not double drops, then?
The first one I got was just before the double drops. The double drop fiasco. double drop gate or whatever we're calling it. 500 crystals and an Omega. We're sorry, we screwed up again.
Okay.
I had the Cantina Energy. I had to use it, so I got one there. But there, my alt, it's TIE Fighter Pilot. I'm kind of looking at players that will enhance your squad, plus have the carryover onto the ships as well, because obviously there is a synergy between the two.
Yeah, got you.
I think it totally happens which level you are and what your squads are, because there's so many good tunes to farm.
Yeah, absolutely.
I just finished Isla. I needed
nice. Yes, very nice. All right. Next question is Ranger going to give us some more voice impressions? Only if you ask me. You have to be a little bit more specific. I have a million of them. So if you want one, let me know. And sometimes I just throw them in. But Smithie D gets very angry with me when I do that and strikes me very violently. So I try to limit them as much as possible.
I strike him down with all my hate. My journey to the dark side is
good. All right. Steve Bella, question. And we're just going down in rotation. What is the best way for free to play to get shards to buy from the shard shop?
Why does anyone want to convert to? I mean, this is an outrageous conversion rate in shard shop. So I would try everything not to have excess shards. Because I mean, I want to finish my characters, right? I want to get them to 7-star.
Mm-hmm.
But of course, if you have 100 tunes at 7-star, then you can go to shard shop. But who will you farm there? Yeah. So probably someone else who has this.
Well, let me ask you this, Bella. Let's say that there was a tune like Death Trooper in there that you really wanted. Would you recommend a free to play to maybe do that? In your opinion?
If my whole team was just kind of waiting for Death Trooper, then maybe yes. If this was this sole character that is needed for me to have perfect synergy, I can agree. I mean, I did that for Vader shards some time ago, but all other characters come to be farmable like in some weeks later, 6 weeks or something. I don't know.
Okay. So, anybody else thoughts?
On that, I would only really normally farm someone from the shard shop that's going to be difficult to obtain. So, say for example that a game-changing character like Baze went in there previously, then I would probably suggest that you throw everything that you've got to get as many shards as you can. Because him going into a hard node, and the same as if Nihilus does go into the shard shop, then being free to play, you need to throw everything you've got to get that character. With, or you're going to be risking spending a year getting it from the hard node or whenever they make it more obtainable from other nodes. So Krennic, in my opinion, you could live without. He's not meta defining. He may get better as a leader and as a character when more Empire characters, kind of like do come out. But for now, I wouldn't waste my shard shop currency, and yeah, I wouldn't do it. Me personally, not on that sort of character.
Can I just put one forward? Obviously, depending on where they are, I'm assuming most people are going to get Jedi Consular ship shards, and probably he's one of the first you're going to get to 7 stars. He's the one that I use for the shard shop, because each ship shard you get is worth 19, so it actually scores more. And if you've already got it, and I think, is that the one with the cuff as well? So it's decent gear and the chance of shards that you can convert.
Yeah, and on that, I would just say you should never be buying anything in the shard shop to convert in the Galactic War, to convert in the shard shop at all as far as characters go, ever. You only get 15. You want to max that out. So like he just said, ships get instead of 15. 4 may not sound like a lot of extra shards, but you want them. So make sure that you're 7-starring a ship, any ship, quickly, and then as soon as you have that ship 7 stars, that's the one you're going to buy to get the maximum amount of currency in the conversion.
All right. This next question, we'll throw this over to Remon. What are your thoughts on a General Hux capital ship for a second DS Dark Side capital ship, especially with episode 8 coming out? There's a possibility. Did we lose Remon? I think we did. All right, we'll throw this over to Smithie D.
The possibility of him being a second ship, probably very slim. Probably not going to see something like that until when what we're talking. You've still got Captain Phasma, haven't you? She hasn't got a ship. Well, no, she has got a ship, Kylo's ship. So you've got Hux, and that's probably going to be around about episode 8 time. I don't really think that we're going to be getting any releases for anything at the minute for the new film unless it's advertised heavily. I think General Hux, we're not probably going to see an episode 7 version of him. It may just jump over to General Hux as General, but it's going to be like the episode 8 version. Could be wrong, but I guess if he was meant to be in the game at this point, he'd probably already be in it, because Force Awakens was quite a while ago, and to just slot him in right now over Thrawn and other great kind of like Empire stuff, I would probably think it's going to be more episode 8 when it's hot and when it's big, same as like we've got a load of Rogue One characters at the moment, Rebel characters, because they're currently hot. The trailer did drop for episode 8, but again, it's probably going to be when the film's released that we're probably going to get General Hux.
Okay. Next question. This is from Gus989. All right. Throw this over to Warrior. Love your live show, guys. Quick question. Are 3 or 4 stars Sith Assassin and Sith Trooper viable under Zal lead?
I would say for Sith Trooper, traditionally tanks are, but Sith Trooper, unfortunately, because there's no cleansing and there's no healing, he'll go real quick. And I know that just from personal experience, especially on a very competitive shard. So I would say for Sith Trooper, unfortunately, probably not. I have mine at 4 stars right now, and he just gets smoked pretty quickly. As far as Sith Assassin, she's going to go stealth. Yeah, that's a different story. She's going to go stealth, and she can kind of keep control of herself. She's going to speed the whole team up, and really she's there as a utility player to speed the entire team up to a ridiculous speed that can't be matched in the game by anything other than possibly a Jedi team. So if you are wanting to be really hyper competitive in Arena, Sith Assassin is actually critical. If it's filled with a bunch of other Maul leads, you're going to have to go first.
All right. Yeah, that's 1,000% right. All right, next question. This is going to Mike. Do you think that the next 2 events or so will be more dark side ships? And this question, we're kind of short on dark side ships. What do you think?
Carrying on from what you just said, I think they're too limited. I mean, I could see the devs doing it purely to kind of get more players to buy the dark ships. Sorry, maybe I shouldn't say that, but
the dark side is better.
Mate, I mean, I ran a full dark side squad for the first 2-3 months. I really invested in ships, and I was running. Yeah, I think I had Jedi Consular on the bench. Otherwise, I had 5 dark side ships, and 2 in reserve. There weren't many that did that. Well, there weren't many that did that. I think it's just too restrictive. That it needs to be open to general populace, and you've got to make it so that everyone can compete to a degree, even if they're screaming at their screens because they can't progress it. I'm going to cite Ground War for that. If anyone's tried Ground War and you crash on that constantly, but you can attempt it.
Okay.
I think it's a little different for the arena squads. You have a higher degree of synergy. And for ships, you don't have the same kind. You have synergies, and especially synergies with capital ships and in between some ships, but you don't have the full squad synergy that you have for arena squads. And in my opinion, if you take a few light side and a few dark side ships, you're getting the best out of ship battles.
Okay. Anybody else? All right.
Oh.
Next question from Chad Reisman. We'll go to Bella for this. Do you think the new game mode will be live action PvP matches?
Live action PvP matches.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. That's a cool idea. But then you need to see who's online. No idea.
Destroy them.
I was thinking it had something to do with ships rather than with live PvP, but it's an idea also.
Let's go around the panel. What do you think that'll be? Smithie, what do you think?
I've already like gone into it in huge detail, so I'll go last. I'll just give my opinion instead of
Warrior.
it up.
Give me the question again. Sorry, I was
drinking
Galactic the rest of my coffee.
Oh, right.
In Galactic War, what?
No.
You can tell I wasn't paying attention. I had it muted and I was typing something. Sorry.
Your lack of attention makes. Do you think
disturbing?
Do you think the new game mode will be live action PvP matches?
Oh, that was actually what I had all over everywhere have already speculated. I think that
do you think it's going to be guild versus guild though, if that is what it is?
I think there's gonna be guilds, and I honestly, and I could be totally way off, and I'm just being uber optimistic, but I think they're going to bring in a whole new category of live play. Now, it's not going to be live as in like there's a timer and we're fighting back and forth live time. I think because tournaments came out and were a flop, but they were super popular, but there was cheating and stuff, and they couldn't control the cheating, that they have to create a lifetime scenario. And so I think that they're probably going to be building out new servers that are secured that allow for them to, let's say I go in and I search for a battle, and there's someone in Australia that's searching for a battle. It connects us within 30 to 60 seconds or less, and then it's turn-based, not live, turn-based, just like it is now. But I see their team, they see my team, they hit what they want, it uploads that actual action to the server live time, and there may be a bit of a lag, so they're going to have high speed servers, things like that, to try and keep up with it, but it won't be timed. It will just be battle until you're dead. And to do this, they would be able to prevent the cheating from the local site hacks, and it would be bringing back something that's longing in this game and what we lost that we wanted. And then they could have it where obviously teams could participate 2 versus 2, but maybe individual battles and then the best of 2 count, or I don't know. There's a lot of there, but it could be kind of a Clash Royale type environment, but they'd have to build that whole new game essentially, just like they did with ships. And so for people saying, well, that's not possible, they won't do that, they did ships. That is essentially a completely standalone game that was integrated into this existing game. They could have made it Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes ships, or Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes battles, or aerialers. They could have called it some other thing and brought it out and had a whole new thing, and they didn't. They integrated it in to bring value to this game, and I think that they're going to do something like that to give us back what we lost with tournaments, but in a safer environment where cheating isn't a possibility, because you can't cheat on Clash Royale. I mean, I know people say that there is a possibility of doing that, but those cheats are instantly found, and people are banned. So even if they're capable, because it's on the secured server, I just don't think that's possible. So I think that's what we're going to get, but I could be totally off. I'm just really optimistic.
I don't know. I want there to be live PvP so bad, man, but I just feel like it's not. I feel like it's not conducive with this particular game, even though it'd be so awesome, and I can see like a million different ways it would. I could dream up a million different possibilities in my head. You know what I'm saying? It's just, I feel like it would be a big, like they would have to do a lot to make that happen. And I don't know. I mean, Ships was a completely different game, but it's like, it's not like changing the way the server works. Like the server would have to work completely differently for live PvP. So I mean, I don't know. Is it possible? I think so. I think they'd have to make a big investment to do that, and I don't know if they're going to do it or not.
Do it.
Well, they have enough money to make that big investment.
Yeah.
You're right.
All right. Let's move on to the next question. We'll go to Smithie D. Question: have I grown out of my current guild? I'm usually rank 1 or 2 in damage for each raid. We've only finished one AAT, and it took a couple of months. And we do 2 to 4 rankers per week. What do you think? This is from Andrew Larson.
So the question is,
have I grown out of my current guild? And the rest of it's just
I guess it depends what kind of player that you are. If you do want more power, then that's
unlimited power.
What is it he says, Ranger, go for it. The power's not from a Jedi point of view. Go for it.
Not from a Jedi.
What some consider unnatural.
Yeah, the dark side of the Force.
I would say I would say honestly on that, it depends on how well connected you are with those players. If you want to leave them, if you don't really know them and don't really talk to them, then they could potentially be holding you back. It depends on where the guild's going. There's certain amount of improvements that you can make as a guild, but if the guild's not pushing forward and if it's not changing or hitting to where you are, because remember, this is a game, we don't get paid for playing this game. We all play it at our own passion and progress at our own kind of like determination. And what we put into the game is what we're going to really be getting back, even if that's money or time. So if you're in a guild and you're unhappy and you want to keep progressing because you want to keep in the arena, you want to keep playing, then maybe sometimes, you have to make that difficult decision that if you then leave them or try to improve it, if it can't be improved, then you can say at least you've tried. But that's probably what I'd say. There is no right or wrong. It just depends on your player. But if it's taken a couple of months to do an AAT, and if you feel like, you could do three AATs in a week, then I would say, in my opinion, it is a game. I'd go for it and go for what you enjoy in the game. But if you enjoy the social aspect of it, of talking to everybody, then it just depends on what you enjoy and what you want from it, really. Anything you'd say on it, Warrior?
I tell people all the time, even in my roster reviews, I get people have like loyalty and friendships and things like that. They start to get to play the game. There's people that help them and give them tips and advice, and there starts to be this bond. It's a virtual game. You're playing just to have fun, and those people in those guilds should understand if you're saying, hey, I really want Kenobi, and they can't physically provide it because their guild is not capable, and you want that, it's a game. Just go find a guild that can do that. Now, there is something to be said about if you've got a guild on the press up of being near that, sticking around and trying to help with recruiting and things like that to try to, bolster the roster of the people on that guild to try and help them out, because you never know. I've got a couple of people in my patron who that's like their skill set in life is just organizing and orchestrating those kinds of things, and they've upbuilt a couple of guilds and been able to get them to do heroic things that they weren't able to do before. And I thought that was just super cool that they were able to dedicate and do that. But then there's been other guys in my patron who did out of the guild they were in, and so they move on. And so I first started the game, I joined a random guild like most people. The people in there were awesome. They were nice, they were really good people, but I wasn't going to get Han Solo, and I wanted Han Solo, so I went to another guild that did Han Solo raids. And then when I realized that the all of the things that matter in this game are basically gear, and I needed to get better gear. We were doing in the second guild, we were doing like a T6 a lot, even though we could do a T7. They preferred T6 for some reason. I don't know why. It's actually harder. And so I left for Team Instinct, and ever since then I've been able to get massive payout rewards, even at like 50th or 46th or 31st. You know what I mean? Like they're still better rewards than the previous. So I had to do what was right for me. It was a good decision. I don't fault anyone for leaving, but I don't fault anyone for staying. But if they stay in their guild and they're not getting the rewards, don't complain.
All right. Where have all my questions? Oh, gotta love the internet. All right, Remon, you're up, buddy. This is from Gabriel Brazil. I'm currently farming B2, but should I start farming him to farm Empire, since the R2D2 event is most likely going to be Empire?
Well,
Rima,
we don't know that yet.
We lost Remon. Okay. Let's see. Warrior, you're up next. This is one from Juan Kandal. I don't know if I'm saying your name. I'm sorry. What is the best team you would make out of these G11 players? Zal, Nihilus, Bubba, Wedge, Biggs, Churret, Baze, Palpatine, Xylo. Which is the best combo?
I would probably do a Maul lead with Emperor Palpatine and Nihilus. So you have the front three are Sith, and then do Churt and Baze for the durability of the team. That's what I would do. A nice, Rebel Sith combo.
Good. All right. Let's move on to the next question. Mike, what do you think about Zeta Yoda's leadership ability, especially with Phase 1 of the AAT?
I can't comment for the AAT. I can see the benefits of it. You just got to keep the B2 nullified. But for Arena, it's annoying. But that's it. You just know that you have to battle longer. But it's defeatable. It is still Yoda needs kind of like a serious boost, because compared to other characters of his ilk, ooh, that's a good word. He's underwhelming considering who he is. But
Okay.
personally, I would use that Zeta somewhere else. Nihilus, probably Nihilus unique.
Okay. Next question. I'm going to test Bella's knowledge of Star Wars.
Oh my god.
All right. This is from Charlie Cutmore, Miss Bella. Darth Bella, do you think they will add Star Killer or General Ram Coda to the game?
You have to get that question in.
I think this question goes to Smithie.
Yes. Yes. Well,
Jesus.
I love Starkiller and Ramkota. I love their characters. We can see how they've used those characters and put them into Rebels. You can see that with Ezra and Kanan, because they're pretty much kind of like similarities to those two characters. And if you're unfamiliar who they are, they were from the Forced Unleashed series, which is no longer canon, but it could be on the table. Jesse had an interview where he says pretty much the characters, everything's all on the table. But it's kind of vague because it's still pretty much, there may be one or two characters. There may be like Kyle Katarn that's not allowed. But if Kyle Katarn wasn't allowed, then I would probably say that Starkiller would fit into that same category. Because of how powerful he was in the game, and the stuff that happened kind of like messed up a bit of the canon with Vader getting kind of like whipped around like a little child. But that was a video game, and that was the kind of aspect of it. Unfortunately, it was made canon, and that could be one of the reasons why we may not see that character. But with this game, it's not a canon game, and it's pretty much like a beat 'em up arcadey kind of thing, where it's in comparison to a kind of like canon concept. So yeah, it's a big possibility, and bam, I hope we get him, because I would love to have Starkiller. I love Sam Witwer. He's one of my favorite actors. I loved him as Maul. I watched him in Being Human. He was even in Smallville.
Yeah.
Oh, I love Sam Witwer. And even in The Mist, he was in it for like half an hour, maybe. Not even that, but that's how much I know who Sam Witwer is. And yeah, I love him. Great actor, great guy. He even plays Star Wars Battlefront and does his Emperor Palpatine voices and while he's running around and trolling people. He's funny. But hopefully Starkiller comes to this game.
All right. So next question. I've kind of lost my conversation there. Smithie threw me off. All right, I'll just throw the question out there. Anybody can answer. This is from Jeffrey Corman. My shard is overrun with Chase. Would Death Trooper be worth the gear without Krennic? And what team around him would be better, Zeta or Zal?
Haven't experienced it myself, but I'm hearing that Death Trooper under Zal works really well, because you've kind of got like the double. Yeah. Oh yeah. Throw a Nihilus in as well. But yeah, because you've got your double lot of days, and Death Trooper's skill set. Yeah, I would say Zul.
Okay. This is one specifically for Smithy D. This is from Paul Gibbons. Smithy D, do you need lots of protection on clones with a Zodi lead? Or this question's kind of weird. Do you need lots of protection on clones as with Zodi lead? You get protection gain. So they're asking you.
I don't think so. No, I think it's the most important thing on that is that your Cody's going to need to be really quick. You know, you're talking around 200 to 220 speed. The protection side of things, it's mainly that you want to be getting your kind of like your crit chance on your character. So every time Cody does this, is it the 212th attack where they all assist? They're all going to be doing all their basic attacks. Echo's going to be doing his basic attacks, and they're gaining protection. So I would say that you'd put some protection on them, but mainly you want to be going with that critical chance. I believe what is it? 5%? Is it 5% regain per basic attack? So I think it's 5%. Off the top of my head. But yeah, okay. I've never seen it be mentioned that protection was kind of like a big factor to it. It was mainly critical chance and some speed on it.
All right. Next question's for Smithy D again.
You missed
why do people
Dabu's question. He's at the bottom. He just said, "Did you guys just skip my question?"
Who, Dabu?
Yeah.
That's who I'm reading right now.
Okay.
Guys, just be patient. If we miss your question, apologize. There's a million of them coming in. I'm trying to keep up with all of this. This is from Dabu, and is that you specifically, Smithy D. Why do people increase potency into Rex? Is it worth even with 100% turn meter removal?
It's really hard to get actually really high potency on Rex. You know, you were talking into the factor of elite mods. You know, mods that have some good speed and have like the potency. I wouldn't use the potency side of it for the arena, but if you're using him in the Rancor raid, then the more potency, the better he's gonna, thingy. But the hardest thing of it is because this isn't really explained, and it's to my knowledge that you've got tenacity. So even if you've got 100% potency, it also then is versus the percent of tenacity of the enemy character. So even though you could have 100% potency, it doesn't mean you're going to land at 100% because it also then factors into what tenacity they've got. And in my opinion, how it should work, and I don't know if it does work in this game, that if my character had 100% potency and the enemy character had 50% tenacity, that means my potency is pretty much 50%, so it's going to be a 50-50 of me actually hitting it. I could be wrong on that. But that would be my opinion. It's always going to be potency versus tenacity, and it depends. It's the same as with armor. You know, when you've got a defense percentage that's going to come off the attack that you're putting in, even though you could have such a high attack and you could have it like really high, it's still going to come off because it depends on the enemy character. But I have no way or theory of really backing it up. Do you know anything on this, Warrior? Because I know you're into with the potency.
So I'm going to try to simplify it as easy as possible, but essentially think of it as you want to get from point A to point B, and there's 3 gates you have to get through, 3 different gates. The first gate is the ability. What does the ability say? So his ability says he removes 25% turn meter. That's 100%. That means you get through that first gate 100% of the time. Whoop, now you're through. If it's a 65% chance or something like that, then there's a 35% chance you don't even get through that first gate and you're done. But if you get through that first gate through your percentage of the ability, then you come to a potency tenacity check. Okay, that's the second gate. Now, if the opponent's tenacity is 50% and your potency is 50% or greater, then you go through the second gate. If you don't, then you smash into the gate and you're done. So let's pretend your potency is at 55 and theirs is tenacity is at 50. Then you go through the second gate to the third gate. The third gate is an automatic 15% of the time it fails, even if you've passed the first 2 gates and the ability said for that first gate, guaranteed 100% of the time it does X or Y or Z. It then rolls a third RNG to see, is it going to be part of this 15% auto failure, or is it going to be part of the 85%? That's the best visual I can give people. So when they have an ability that's 100%, it still has to go through 3 checks. You know for a fact you're going to pass the first one because it's 100%. Then you hit the second one, you got to pass your potency check, and then you got to go into the just bland RNG that they say that even if something lands 100% of the time, there's still a statistical anomaly of 15% that could happen on any ability, and that's the way it works. So yes, potency is highly important in the game, and yes, tenacity is important in the game, because when somebody's attacking you with a character that has 70% potency, if you want to stop them in that second track, then you're going to have a higher tenacity than that. But remember that even if they pass that, or even if you stop them, there's still that 15% off chance. So, I mean, you can control it to a point, but so it's important because you can only control what you can control. So you need to be modding these characters and paying attention to these stats. But at the end of the day, even if you mod them correctly, there's still chances of things not working or things working that shouldn't have worked. You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
That was probably the best explanation I've heard anybody gave of that, of the tenacity versus potency so far. I mean, like the way, like I'm saying, as far as like simplifying it, you know.
All right. So we're getting a buttload of questions, so I'm having to do something because questions are. If we missed your question, ask it again, guys. I've got a new system here. I wasn't prepared for this to get to everybody's question. So if you get skipped over, we're going to start flying through these. I'm just going to call on somebody, answer, and then we'll move on to the next person.
Rapid fire round.
Yeah, rapid fire round. Let's see who just went. Bella, we skipped you because Smithie went bananas.
No worries.
That's right. Do you think there will be a droid? This is from Fluffy Chicken Dough. Jesus, what a name. Do you think there will be a droid Java rework soon?
Well, I don't know about Java's droid would be awesome. I think a lot of people asking for reworks of the droids, and droids don't have SETA, so and I think that would be a good idea. You're thinking of the AAT Phase 2 team, like the combination of Javas and droids, right?
They're just asked to do. They just need rework in general.
Yeah. I mean, I haven't heard anything about that, but droids, we didn't see any rework on them for long, I think. If anyone else has a better answer, because I don't know, it's just guessing.
All right, so we'll move. I will move on to the next question. Let's see. We'll go to Remon. Do you think Cass? This is from Aaron Owenwood. Do you think Cass would be good in an Akbar team?
Cass? Mm-hmm. Like, you mean Cassian?
Yeah, I believe so.
Okay. Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah. I mean, I think he could be. I mean, if he had the right other pieces around it, I think an Akbar lead can be a savior in certain circumstances. I mean, like, if you have. Like, I remember in the past, like, when I was facing droid teams with my Wedge and Biggs team, if you put an Akbar lead in there, or if you put you can make your rebels fast enough to compete with some of the faster teams out there. That extra 25 speed, really helps out a lot. But other than that, I think that the problem with the Akbar is that he's ultra squishy. And on top of that, there's just better characters to synergize with Cassian than Akbar. So I mean, like, I would say like can he work? Yes, but I think that you're going to find better results with different characters, like other Rogue One characters, for example.
Okay. Smithy D, next question. This is from the Chandy Man Can. Do you think the new game mode they tease will be something like the old Star Wars Battlefront Conquest game mode, where there are ships and ground battles?
No, because Battlefront wasn't made by EA. It is before they made it. I think it would be, in my opinion, it has to be the start of something, and it's got to be that Foundry needs to be put into the game. My opinion is it's either going to be a PvP training mode where you can battle allies and use all your ships, because it does say that it's going to have a social aspect to it, and it's also mentioned that you can use your entire characters and you can use whatever. So that isn't going to affect you in the arena side of things, because you could just like throw in whatever teams you wanted. If you wanted to run Resistance, you could. If you wanted to run the Phoenix squad, but you don't feel they're strong enough for your main arena, you could just like play around, do some matchmaking. But hopefully, it will be live PvP. And the reason why I'm kind of moving towards why it should or could be live PvP is the biggest reason is if we have a look at Tebow, how long did it take to fix Tebow? Long time, okay? And what was the fix to that? It was Sith Assassin. So at the moment, what do we know about tournaments? That there was a big issue with people cheating. So you could hit two birds with one stone. You could fix the element of the game with a brand new game mode. You're hitting two birds with one stone. So they're kind of investing into a game mode, but it's going to fix all the other areas. So you're not then it's saving money because it needs to be fixed at the end of the day. So why don't you do two jobs with the same amount of budget that you've got? And that's why I believe it would come, because that needs to be fixed in that side of it. It's going to be less stress on them with people reporting people if it goes in certain aspects of the game where it's completely live and it requires an internet connection for the entire kind of like match. There's going to be a lot of people kind of like saying that this guy cheated, that guy cheated. So yeah, I think that would be the way the game would go forward, and it would kind of then make that major breakthrough. But at the same time, with them fixing the current issues, they're able to use that same budget to give you a brand new game mode. But that's my opinion. That's where I would personally try and do things, and that's how I would look at it on a tactical point of view. That okay, we've got this, we can build this, but why don't we fix this and we can do it at the same point? What are your guys on the panel about that? No one.
All right, we'll move on to the next question and go to Warrior. Jason McDonald, is Rexley still good when going against Maul lead with Sith Assassin? Maul always stays first to gain the turn meter gain.
Yes, it'll always be the answer. Rex has always been the answer, always will be the answer. He's a great, great, great leader. He slows other teams down by making your team faster, essentially. Even if they get the initial jump on you and do initial dazes and stuns and things like that, that Sith do, they're going to get a lot of extra turn meter for that, speed up your team, and you're going to go. Now, if daze lands on every single character, then yes, of course, the potential is that you're going to have a couple of rounds where you're not getting that extra turn meter. So, I mean, it's obviously if you run Sith, there's a order, and Rex is one of those guys you want to kill because you don't want them to tenacity up and stuff like that. So but yeah, no, I run a Sith team, I run a first order team, I run a Rex led team, I run a General Kenobi led team. I have 4 different arena teams that I like to flippy flop in there, and they're all just as viable as each other. I think my Rex led team is probably my most durable, and I lose the least amount with.
All right. Mike, next question from Jake Naughton. And guys, if I miss your question, just pop it in the channel. Again, I'm copying all these questions so we can make sure we get your question. Apologize, the cycle for the questions went weird and some of them disappeared, so I'm trying to get to all of them. Mike, this is from Jake Naughton. I'm trying to get home 1 to 6 stars. Who do I take out first in the challenge? JC, Rex, or the clones?
JC.
You gotta take out JC.
Get rid of them. Is it 1 or 2 on there? I think it's 2, isn't it? Days 1, take the other one out, and then go back for the first.
Yeah. And hope there's no third one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
JC got to go.
I actually, had to be JC, and then for me, I actually left Red. Awesome ship, but in that particular challenge, the clones hit hard, like crits every time, 30 to 60k. It was like what?
God.
So yeah, it was definitely JC, then the clones ships, then the clone sergeant's ship, and then Rex.
Okay, Bella, we'll go to you. This is from, I want to say Jose Garcia. And this is a question for the panel, but we'll start with you. I just zated Vader. I'm mostly free to play. My arena rank is 250. Who should I add to Vader from these characters to rank higher? Royal Guard, Emperor Palpatine, Death Trooper, TIE Fighter Pilot, Bubba, Sid, or Rex? I do not have Chase.
Okay, so that was
Yeah, I'll read
Vader, Seder, right? Seder.
just said Vader, not Zader.
But
Oh
he
yeah,
said
no,
Seder Vader.
yeah, he just Zated Vader. Never
So it's
mind.
a Seder lead.
Mm-hmm.
I'm quite fond of Royal Guard, actually, to have it in the team. TIE Fighter pilot. Yeah, it depends a bit. We assume they are all fully upgraded, right?
I'm assuming that's right.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm just trying to think if Death Trooper or Royal Guard, or maybe both. I don't know. I haven't seen so many people using two taunts on the dark side sports. Sid is very good. So, but that's 2, 4, 5 I just mentioned. I'd left out Boba.
But they also had to see Bubba, Sidious, and or Rex. They do not have Chase.
Yeah, but you don't need Chase for that kind of team, so that's fine. And yeah, I would either take Royal Guard or Death Trooper, so that's 2 tunes with Vader. Then we need 3 more. TIE Fighter pilot, that's 3. Sidious is 4. Yeah, if you have a good taunt, you can use Palpatine or Boba, either of them. Boba probably is quite good because he has this debuff AoE.
Okay.
And if he, yeah.
Awesome. All right. Next question. Let's see. Back to Smithie D.
Go for it.
Do you think General Veers is going to get a rework? If so, in what way or how? And that's from HOA plus.
I guess why not? He's quite a terrible character at the moment, but more importantly, that if he does get a rework, that I would like to see a more place for him to be farmable, because what is he at the minute? Just on hard notes. So it would be kind of like shabby and horrible if a character gets a rework and you can't get access to him and you have to farm him through a hard node. I think that wouldn't be well received. But what was said on the forums was that we're making a pass at the second Empire pass, was it, or something? It's veering towards a second Empire pass. So veering, potentially, you've got that word. It's not something that you use every day, or I've never heard anyone use the word veering that often. So yeah, I would probably put 2 and 2 together and say that's probably something to do with veers, but that also could be meaning that there's ground wars maybe coming. A second pass at Empire, but who knows? But yeah, most likely, if you've got him, then probably if you can get hold of him, that is. I know Warriors are big on kind of like farming the characters straight away once they have reworks. Did you want to put in on that, Warrior?
Well, I think that on the forums, it's kind of been assumed by everybody that's happening because of their play on words. It was just like Darth Nihilus before Darth Nihilus ever got released. We all knew it was Darth Nihilus because of the picture and because of the analysis we were able to do and what they said. The words they used were very important. And so they're saying it's veering. Their only Empire character that's in the game that's got Veer in the name is General Veers. So I think that's a pretty safe deduction. We could be wrong, but I think it would be safe to gear them up. I have 5 characters I'm gearing, and he's one of them. I have him at gear 8. I think I have all my characters I'm gearing at gear 8, and it's going to be a long plug for these 5 characters for sure.
Awesome. Remon, you still there, brother? Okay, so we're gonna move on to Warrior. That's why I asked, because I know he goes in and out because of work and stuff. So, all right, Warriors from Aaron Parker. Hey guys, what are your thoughts on Maul under Palpatine's lead? From his unique in the leadership, he gets some huge potency buffs and health improvements.
I would say, well, first, what's happening? You watch my channel, so I appreciate you watching this as well over here. So that's awesome. Yeah, I recognize names a lot. But I wanted to say that Maul boosts his own potency and he boosts his own health. 20% health and potency ends up being over 40 something percent right out the gate without mods. So if you mod him with some extra potency and health or speed and stuff, you really don't need Emperor Palpatine as lead to gain those benefits with Maul. And Maul's leadership with the Sith makes more sense right now than Emperor Palpatine. But Emperor Palpatine under Maul makes even more sense, and it's very deadly. It's a very deadly combination. So, Emperor Palpatine that you can't hit or is hard to hit is very, very dangerous. So, I would say while that would work and while that would be good, I don't think it has the potential of the Maul lead with Emperor behind.
Don't you wish that Emperor Palpatine's leader ability for Sith was way better?
Yeah, it's not bad. And when it came out, it was like overpowered. I mean, everybody ran an EP lead and had a whole bunch, Darth Vader behind him and things like that. And it was great. It still is great. It's just,
but it was great. It was great because of the turn meter for Empire. It wasn't great because of Sith. Like you running a Maul behind an Emperor Palpatine lead was not good. And it was
right,
like
exactly.
It was like there was still something lacking for Sith on his leader ability. I wish if it was the same. Like if let's say they got turn meter and health, then it would have been great. Like because now that Maul does days, he get to go twice at the start of the encounter, which would make that leader ability probably a lot more viable now. So I don't know. I mean, still it would be slow, but you know what I'm saying. I was waiting for Palpatine to come out like forever, and like when he finally did, I was like super excited because I thought this was going to make Sith relevant, and then it still took a while for that to happen until Maul Zeta came out.
Yeah, but Remon, aren't you glad? I know you were probably the biggest proponent early on about Maul. Both had Maul 7 stars through chromiums, and we sat on them. We geared him, and we couldn't even use him. And he was probably the highest leveled character that we couldn't use in the game. So this rework has made him literally the most popular character in the game. I mean, aren't you happy about that?
Of course, I'm happy about that. I mean, it's. I mean, I wish it happened at a time where not everybody and their mother also had them all. But I'm saying, like, it's like. But I mean, like, but of course, I mean, it's a huge, drastic change. I mean, the guy went from completely unusable for a full year to being, the most popular character in the game, and. I mean, he's, it's his time to shine. He deserves his time in the sun now. So, I mean, and I don't foresee it going anywhere anytime soon.
All right. Since we got you, Remon, we'll give you this question because I just want to see Smithie's reaction. This is from our boy Virtual Gaming World. Do you think the new game mode is a ship raid with Jedi Luke as a reward?
No.
I
didn't ask you, Smithie. I asked Remon.
No, but I agree with Smithie. I think I don't think he's way off. I think it's going to incorporate ships somehow. I think it's going to. I think it's going to. I think that it's going to include some character. I think we may get like a character bonus as like shards for a character for accomplishing whatever this event is or game mode is. But I don't think it's going to be Jedi Luke, and I don't think it's going to be a ship raid. I think it's going to be more along the lines of like a. Maybe a collaborative PvP or something like that, and it would be great if it was like it would be great if it was a way for guilds to either earn more guild currency to raid more, or for guilds to earn more points. It'd be nice to see the leaderboard be a little bit more competitive than just how many coins you saved for the month.
And they've already come out and said this is not another raid. They actually physically said that out loud to the entire world. So to guess it's a raid would be inaccurate for sure. They said it is an entirely new component of the game we've never seen before. So because of that, I know it's not a raid because we have 2 raids and they said no raid.
Thank God, I don't want a 3rd raid yet. It takes enough time to do 2.
They'll bring a raid out probably in December. and it will probably be Jedi Luke as your reward because of the movie. But I think what's coming out is something new and exciting that's like the PvP or a sandbox mode or something like that.
Could do with like a galactic war style for ships as well.
Oh God, I hope not.
Something else.
Sorry, but 2 galactic wars a day. Ah!
Yeah, don't be asking for that, Mike. You might add it in.
Actually, to be honest, that would not be terrible. This is why I know people hate the ships, but the fact that you can 4 times speed now does make it a little bit more relevant. And think about it. I've got times where I have my ship set up at 150,000, and I'm going against a guy that has 172,000. I know people that have come into the top 5 occasionally that are like 112,000, and I'm 160,000 that day. And it's like, what? The variant, which is what they use for their mathematical equation, just doesn't make any sense. And so when they go to pick a harder team, it doesn't mean that team necessarily is going to be unbeatable. Unlike in regular arena, it actually does mean that. So I could see them doing something like that at some point and it being a little more fun. They would probably just make it 6 nodes, so it's half as much because they've really put an emphasis on making it less, or like 4. But then there would be an additional spot to get rewards, and I think that would be awesome.
Sweet.
Yeah.
All right, we'll go to Mike on this next question. This is from Calamity9911. It says, love all of your channels, great stuff. I'm looking to run a Rex, Chase, Bubba, and Kylo arena team. I'm 10 away from my first Zeta. Should it go on Kylo or Vader for the Rancor?
Oh,
remember the question that you give right now could change somebody's whole life, Mike. Their life's in your hands.
I love the no pressure questions. I really do. See, Kylo. You've got 2 arguments here. Kylo is awesome on offense, and he is like a lead weight on your defense for arena. You're saying Zeta for the raids, but of course
Yeah, he said Vader for the Rancor at the end, but his question was mainly around his arena team. I think he's trying to say who would be best for, I guess, both raid and or for the arena team.
It's one of those.
If they just changed Kylo to where his is it Lash Out, the one that regains protection? Which is the Zeta? Lash Out or
Outrage.
It's Outrage, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's Outrage. Okay, so if they just changed it to prioritize Outrage every time it was available, I think he would be a million times better on defense.
Yeah, it doesn't use it, does it?
It never uses it on defense pretty much, and the reason for that is every time he hits, he ends up resetting his cooldowns because that's a part of his thing when he has his dots over his head. So he ends up getting his resets almost every single time, which means that then it goes through the repriority, and the first special is what it always goes to, and that's the one that gives retribution and does an AoE. It doesn't get any protection regen, which is what he needs. And on offense, you can manually pick it, but you can't on defense, and so because their priority is not second special, first special, it's first special, second special, you'll almost never on defense see him actually use that ability. And that's terrible because that's a stunning ability, literally.
The irony here, of course, is that he does use it in Galactic War. When you play the AI in Galactic War, I've had him wipe out squads, reset button.
Just that small adjustment would make him OP on defense. It's like he would. I mean, the problem with it is, how often when you're using Kylo Ren on offense, do you actually use that AoE ability? Only when somebody's taunting and I see there's another character on the board that has low health that I could possibly kill with the AoE. That's the only time I'm using that ability. Other than that, I'm using Outrage every time. So it's like it doesn't. I don't know. If they just fix that, he would be. He would be. Maybe they don't want to make him OP on defense. I don't know, but that would make him a lot better.
See, the AoE is great if you run in first order because it feeds turn meter. Just to actually finish answering the question, I would honestly say Zeta just because he's the most utility or the best utility player. You can use him pretty much everywhere.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
I don't know. I'd still say Kylo because on offense, he's going to be that difference. You can use him in any team.
That's and Kylo will, of course, get you your offense mod challenge.
Yeah, you can use him in the AAT. I use Kylo Ren in the AAT in like 4 different teams. I just put him in, and then I retreat with him at the end. I just use him all over the board. He's all-round character. Where Vader, in my opinion, is great, but at the same time is you have to run Vader. You have to run a Vader lead. Take Vader out of his lead position. What have you got? There's no point of the Zeta. Put Kylo Ren in any other team. He's like your Boba Fett. He's going to be your guy. He's going to be your go-to guy. Even though he sucks sometimes on defense, but he actually does use his outrage when he gets under 100% health on defense, and I think it does prioritize that he does use outrage over lash out. But it has to kind of kick into that, so he'll start regaining the protection. But you could just normally leave Kylo to last and then just really like wail on him. But I would really say that with that, if you want him for arena, I would do Kylo Ren because he could be the difference of you winning and losing your arena payout, and that could be the big difference that you're able to get past teams that you can never do, and that's all thanks to Kylo Ren and how sucky the AI is that you can just keep hitting outrage, and just getting it healing back, and just like completely taking down their team. But that's my opinion on it.
No, good. All right, let's move on to the next question for Darth Bella. This is from Martin Waterman. Mike, his question is, my chart is overrun with rebel teams and I'm running Chays and Wigs. Who should I run as a good 5th member? Did we lose Darth Bella?
Yeah. No, it's fine. I was just going to say I would actually use if you don't have like Jin would be cool as a lead, maybe. If you don't have her, then you could go for someone with AoE, either Pulp or Boba. Either for stunning and I do that actually, or you can have a debuff AoE with Boba Fett. Doesn't need to be a light side character in this team.
Okay. Anybody else on that question?
Totally agree. Emperor Palpatine or Boba Fett, 2 awesome suggestions.
Yeah. What about a Rex on that team?
Yes.
Nah.
Just throw it out there. Just keeping the conversation. All right. Let's see here.
I wanted to add. When you guys talk about offense, you say offense, right? Like with Smithie and
Mike.
And Mike.
Yeah.
So when you're talking to somebody about taking offense to something that somebody said, how do you say that?
Offended.
You start with oi.
Oi. What you been saying, mate? What was that? You want some cheese?
Oh Lord! All right, I'll move on to the next question. My God. Let's see. There's Bella. Back to Smithie.
Okay, let's go.
This is from Red Baron. Red Baron. I think it's the Red Baron. Oh, I can't tell him that. Sorry, but I'll just go with Red Baron. I just broke top 50 with G11 Rex and G10 Wigs with Stormtrooper Han and Bubba. Do I carry on gearing everyone to gear 11 or start gearing Kylo Ren, who will be 7 stars in a few days? And who do I take him out for? Cheers and great show.
Kylo Ren. I would personally use Kylo Ren. So he's got Stormtrooper Han. Did you say he had Wedge and Biggs? Boba Fett. And who else? Who was his 5th spot?
He didn't see Rex, Wigs.
Rex lead. Okay.
Stormtrooper Han and Bubba.
It's a difficult one because that team's kind of set up how it is. You'd probably have to change the team. I probably wouldn't really put Kylo under a Rex lead because of the whole he's going to clear it tenacity sort of things. Even though Kylo Ren's unique when he kind of like hurts himself with those dots will go through tenacity up that's on him. But anything that's currently on him, which makes him more stronger. So if you're versus another team and he's got lots of debuffs on him, you want those debuffs to stay. And Rex, you don't want to really be clearing it. So I try and avoid mixing Kylo Ren with like a Zeta Barris or a Rex lead, because you're kind of watering down your character. And on defense, he's just going to be even more terrible. He's going to be kind of like a real cakewalk. But you could make other teams, and that could be easily that you drop in Wedge and Biggs, and you're going more for a Rex lead, Emperor Palpatine, Boba Fett, Stormtrooper Han, and Kylo Ren. That's probably what I would do. You know, you've got your AoE, you've got your stun. You know, the only thing you haven't really got in there is somebody that's going to be able to dispel, except for Boba. But some teams can live without it, some teams can live with it. If you've got Nihilus, then gear up your Nihilus. He doesn't take much currently to really gear. It's not a big grind, and you'll thank me because we're easier to speller. He can annihilate, and he's gonna do what Boba does, you know, with the whole ability block and, you know, increase their cooldown. So you could then essentially take Boba out, put Nihilus, and bam, you've got two tanky characters in your team. Where if they're getting hit by AoEs, they're not going to be losing a lot of health. So you want to try and move away from characters that have low health, because with Mauls, Vaders, they're going to drop pretty quick, in my opinion. So I'd probably move away from that and go for more that are more sturdy, that are strong overall, and can still hit like Boba can and like other characters. Like you've got Death Trooper, for example. He's kind of like a Boba as well, you know, with a mixed Nihilus. So there's lots of ways that you can go with it, but I'd probably move away from the Wedge and Biggs until you get Shrewd and Baze or a Rogue One team that's going to be able to keep increasing, but pretty much going to be able to keep them alive. The Wedge and Biggs sort of thing at the moment is they're kind of like a one-shotter, and then after that, they can be picked up. If you can survive the first impact, you can then just pick them off. The not.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, next question. This is directed at Mike Hunt specifically. Mike, do you think Death Trooper is viable without Krennic?
I
A plus.
I think he is. Yeah, I do. I'm working on him. I wanted to get him to 7 stars, and
sorry, this is what you said, Ranger. He's directed at Mike specifically.
Hey, I'm not the one that came up with that name. He did.
I didn't know you had one.
I don't know. Is it just me and Mike that find this funny?
You're welcome. No, every time I remove my York from my guild, and the message comes up in game chat, I laugh like a schoolgirl.
Wow.
You know the surnames on both.
Yes. All right. Is Remon there? Nope. All right. Then Warrior.
I'm here.
Oh, he's there. Okay. This is from Pito Pato. Who'd you farm first in Arena, Sidious or IG-88? I would need IG for the credit heist and Sidious probably for Arena. My Arena team is currently Phasma lead. 7 stars, Ren 7 stars, Stormtrooper Han 7 stars, Bubba 6 stars, and Nihilus 3 stars, Vader 5 stars. So who should they go for first based off their Arena team and win all the other events, IG-88 or Darth Sidious?
I mean, it sounds like you're primarily you get most of the team that you have is Sith. So I mean, I'm thinking maybe you might be better off by going with Sidious. But I mean, IG-88 is great because he's also a scoundrel, and I mean, you know, you can use him in, you know, the raid, and but again, I think because you have, you know, Nihilus and Vader, and it seems like you've geared these characters up. I would go with Sidious. That'd be my opinion.
Okay. Let's move on to Warrior. This is from Jeffrey Corman. What is the best chase counter?
Oh, the best chase counter is B2. Maul is a great counter because of days, but a B2 can put buff immunity over their head, and he just gets a ridiculous amount of turns because they counter a lot. That's what Chase and Baze and Churret do. They counter a lot, and every time, one of your people take damage or get evaded, which you're going to take a lot of damage with them. He's going to get potentially 40% of the time another turn, and that AOE comes around every 3 turns, which is ridiculous. And if he doesn't apply the buff immunity the first time, he'll probably get it the second time. So it's only a matter of time with a B2 on your team before he's got buff immunity over everyone's head and nobody's getting anything. So that's a great counter. The other counter, which is a great combo with B2, is Boba Fett. If you don't want to put in B2 or don't have B2, use Boba Fett. Or if you don't have Boba Fett, use B2. But if you use both of them, I have a lot of people when I'm using my chase teams. That's when they can't beat me. I see their team. I see it says they're battling me. It still shows number 1 afterwards, and then I see them switch Boba and B2 in, and then all of a sudden I'm in 3rd spot because those 2 characters constantly allow them to chew through a team like that. If they can't, get it with B2, then Boba Fett's, executing people. So yeah, B2 and Boba Fett are definitely 2 characters that I recommend out of the top 3 characters in the game as counters to any meta. They're really, really great against any team that's ever been, is currently, or probably will be.
Okay. Next question, Mike. This is from Crisco. How about a Bubba and his skill to do that can do 30% extra damage for every buff and debuff? That should work versus a Chase, correct? So basically, he's asking about Bubba versus Chase.
Yeah, it does, but then Chirrut does his wavy big stick thing. Yeah, it's a timing. It's a definite timing issue there. You just got to get it right. I always get it wrong, and I don't know if anyone's aware. I love my scoundrel team. I run Boba with Zam, and I chuck a Gear 10 Newt in there, and if I really want to do damage, I'll throw an 88 in. But nah, I have to switch up when I come across. As soon as you come across any kind of real strong chase, at the moment it's not working for me. Although one of my guildmates has maxed his Zam out, and he is running Boba Zam 88 and competing in arena. He's in like the top 50. He's doing great. I love watching his vids.
All right. This next one's directed specifically at Smithie and Warrior, and this is from Victor Aneto. Being insiders with EA, any shot Anakin could be getting a Zeta. Maybe all Jedi get accuracy. That's the question.
Did you want to say this one, Warrior?
Yeah, so first, we're both under NDA, so if we knew something, we wouldn't be able to say it, but just being completely frank, we don't know about anything like that. So we can say, hey, that'd be cool, that's cool, accuracy would be nice, but I gotta say, I got a Sith team where everybody's got accuracy, and I still get dodged 13 times in a row. So until accuracy either gets raised, the level or amount per mod gets raised or actually starts working, I don't think that would be a very good addition on a Zeta. But who knows? A Zeta ability for every character eventually, probably at some point, every character will have their Zeta. But
let's have a look, actually, at Anakin, where he's got room for a Zeta ability.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, let's have a look on. It's Swgoh. What do you call it, Warrior?
Oh,
Is that what you call it?
That was my waiting music, waiting for you to look it up.
Okay. Let's have a look. Anyway,
it's elevator music.
Yeah, it's elevator music. I'm nearly there. I'm nearly there, guys. I just can't do it. It's
elevator music.
Thanks, Smithie.
Right, here we go.
He's on the internet saying
Solid,
he's nearly there. Please tell me, dear Lord, he didn't just say that.
I just can't do it. Right, so he's got a mega. It's his unique, so on his Righteous Fury, where we're going to see the Zeta because it goes up to level 7. at the moment, so that would be where his Zeta would go on that. He's probably going to get at the minute his ability whenever another ally falls below 50% or is defeated, Anakin gains 100% turn meter and his next attack deals 75% more damage. So it's probably going to be that it deals 100% more damage or somewhere on those lines, that I'd imagine. Anakin, given accuracy, I think that'd probably be more Plo Koon's area, if they did rework him or Zeta him to do stuff against stealth. But fingers crossed that Anakin's going to come back and he's going to be like Kylo Ren, but better. Maybe he's going to have immunity that he can avoid it.
All right, let's try to breeze through these next questions as fast as possible. Yeah. Bella, this is from Octave Connections. Do you think that a Zeta for a cup will bring him from tier 2 to tier 1?
From where to where?
Tier 2 to tier 1.
How many tiers are there? Because he's at the bottom.
Yeah, I think he's like tier 8 or something. Really confused.
I guess they'll go up a tier, I guess?
The question was for Cup, like Coruscant Underworld Police, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Is it not a she? I mean, a female character?
I don't know.
I think it was. That's why I'm irritated, really, if we're talking of the same.
I guess when Cup was made, they went into the office and they needed to put a character in the game, and they thought, what character can we put in the game, guys? And if someone was like, Cup, he'll be amazing, he'll be great, we'll make the game great again.
Right.
He's just sat there. Will he ever be meta? Probably not, because he's a generic character.
They can't really work on her because she's the joke. We will miss this joke. I think.
Imagine if they had an army of Underworld Police and that was the meta, and it was just like Underworld Police Commando, Underworld Police Officer. And he just had a whole lineup.
All right, Smithie, next question from Aaron Bowers. Just got my first Zeta with Zeta. Looking for my next Zeta plan. I have a full clones team at gear 8 to 10 and considering Zeta Cody. Your thoughts?
Cody is a good one. You can't go right or wrong with Cody. You can't go wrong, shall I say? Cody's a good one. It depends on what you're using your Vader for. If you're using it for the arena, if you have your arena team, then I'd probably go for Cody. Work on those clones. As long as they're 7-star. If they're not 7-star, then don't put that Zeta in there until they're up there and use something that's going to benefit you now, because gearing wise can take a while to especially do 5 characters. So my biggest advice on that is definitely go with what you've got. And clones work, you can't go wrong with them. They don't work in the arena, and any new clones are probably going to be payable. So you just have to probably accept the fact that if you are willing to spend for more clones like Gregor or those sort of clones, then yeah, you can't go wrong, and they're good in the AAT. Back to you, Roger.
All right, thank you, Smithie. Remon. You there, buddy?
Hello.
All right, we'll go to Warrior. This is from the Secluded Empire. Do you guys think one of the fan favorites coming to the game could be Darth Revan?
There's always that possibility. I don't know. They gave us a clue as to one of them. I mean, they went beep bop boop bop boop bop boop. You know what I mean? So
it's a Oompa Loompa.
I think that somebody. I think that everybody knows that that's probably R2D2, and that's the suggestion is that, and so they're alluding to the R2D2 as one of the two. So then we know there's another one, and I just found it auspicious that Wicket, or at least the actor for Wicket, was on like practically yesterday. So and he is a fan favorite. Wicket it's weird enough, and so I could see them, and I haven't heard anything, so this isn't me giving insider info, but I could. It's speculation. I could see them totally reworking Ewoks. That's another one of those needed reworks in the game sometime in the next couple of months, and having Wicket be the one that comes out. So maybe they do a pass in May at a particular group at like the Empire, and then maybe in June it's going to be a rework through Ewoks, and maybe they're going to add Wicket into the game. But Revan is a possibility. I think he'll always be a possibility, but I think that will be a change in the game that's so big because of the neutralizing of characters that it's probably going to come a little further down the road, in my opinion.
All right. Let's move on. Mike, this is from Dada Jordan. It says, great job week in, week out on all your channels. Very informative and helpful. Question. Not sure if this has already been discussed, but what ship should I use the Omega on?
Yeah, we spoke about this earlier on.
Yeah, we answered it. Biston or fives are the best two.
Biston or fives, okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Or Scimitar is in the third spot, really, but he's the only other one.
Okay, cool. Well, let's give you another one there, Mike. This is from Logan Kelly. How do you get better speed mods? I seem to keep getting the top right arrows for speed, both, but nothing else. Not even in the shipments. So, what are the best way to get the best speed mods?
I would advocate using what Warrior was saying, and says all the time. Dedicate at least 1 week out of 4 to pure mod farming. Just give up on your cantina. Obviously, don't do it on double drop week or days. Do that, and basically you're looking for the speed secondaries constantly, so it's the luck of the gods there, and always, as you're doing already, look in the mod store, and only purchase speed mods that are for credits, maintaining a minimum 5 million if you can credit balance at all times, so that when it does pop up, you're doing it. I'm sorry, Warrior. I basically said, quoted you line for line there, but it's great advice, and that's what I do.
I got a video. You guys could go check it out on YouTube. It's Warrior from TeamInstinct.com. Plug. Shameless plug. Shameless plug.
Yeah, I didn't plug you enough there, did I?
Oh my God! Oh Jesus! Oh Lord! All right, let's get to the last couple questions. Who was the last one? I forgot. Screw it. This is from Dana. I can't even say this. Danalicious. I'm assuming that's how it's supposed to be. I have a running team for Rex, Nihilus, Kylo, Bubba, and Stormtrooper Han. Thinking of replacing Stormtrooper Han with Kenobi, BT, or maybe Stunfat. What are your guys' suggestions for replacing Stormtrooper Han? Anybody can answer.
Raid Han. No, I'm joking.
Oh Lord.
Hey, you got to keep the Han Solo in the solo, but I wouldn't really replace him until you've got either General Kenobi, a Maul lead, or base. I don't think if you are running a tank, you could either go for that more attack. If you've got a Rex lead, and you got some fac, it could be overkill on the turn meter having Stormtrooper Han. It doesn't hurt, but it hurts you as a whole that you've got 3 characters already that don't put out a lot of high damage. Rex does have his substitute that does that extra damage on, but it's going to leave you then with 2 characters, and depending who you put in there, I would probably say that if you was replacing it, and if it works currently, stick with it until you do get something better from the 3 that were mentioned, either a Zeta Maul, because you don't really need to run a tank then. Get a base, Shore Trooper, or anything that's going to be like an auto taunter that's going to help you. But you probably drop some fac, I would probably say, if you wanted to go more attacking and keep Stormtrooper Han. Because overall, I think Stormtrooper Han is better than some fac now. I don't think some fac is as good as what he used to be. And he takes a lot to gear up as well. Ooh, his gearing is horrible.
All right. Next question from my boy Captain Blackbeard. R. Who would you Zeta next? Savage, Nihilus, Sidious, or Bubba? I run a Zol team in Arena.
Savage isn't
Savage.
bad. Yeah.
Savage, if you're sold out Sith, man, that's like the second. So it's the second Zeta you should do on a Sith team. First Maul, then Savage. Those 2 brothers, man, together, crazy.
You don't think Nihilus?
Nihilus' unique is pretty awesome, but I still think that Savage takes the whole entire team's durability to a whole nother level.
Yeah, I agree. Savage's Zeta is really, really good.
Okay. And then finally, the last question of the day. This is from Gathan. Running a Nihilus lead with Kylo, Bubba, B2, and Palp. Any improvements you guys would make to that team?
Well, I mean, what's the benefit of the Nihilus lead there besides Palpatine?
Sif's heal on every attack.
I think you gotta have Maul in there, right? Or Count Dooku.
He's got to have Dooku, or it's kind of a wasted leadership.
Yeah, I think Dooku probably makes the most sense. Yeah.
I had some success with an all Sith squad. So you Nihilus lead, Dooku, Sid with the 2 assassin and trooper. That can work quite nicely. The thing is, I suppose now is it's so dependent on who you're facing that you really do kind of have to look at your squad and adjust. There isn't a squad that will, completely dominate, shall we say?
No, but there's squads that are better, and when you're talking about using a leader ability, I mean, you want to use one that's going to best affect the rest of your team, and I think there's a lot better options than Nihilus lead right now. But I mean, if you're going to go with Nihilus lead, listen, I farmed mods specifically for Nihilus lead, when he came out. So I went all offense on Nihilus, because I knew he couldn't crit. So, but at the same time, I still think that there's better options. I mean, obviously, Dahl would be a better way to go. But if you're running, you absolutely have to run a Nihilus lead. If you don't have like Dooku on there or maybe Savage Press, I don't really see a benefit to it.
And that's it.
Yeah, well, there was one more question from Turbo.
I missed that. Go for it.
Yeah, so the question is, who would you recommend to put Chase in a squad, guys? So the question is, who would you recommend to put Chase in a squad, guys? I don't know what that question means.
He probably has Chase and wants to put it into with 3 other people, and the answer is any other 3 people. Chase goes into every team, no matter what. Unless they're running a bunch of B2s and Boba Fett's, I think you're behind.
Don't take
about any of them.
Don't take Cup. That's my suggestion.
What's wrong with Cup?
I would love a Cup rework.
Bella, what's wrong with Cup?
The problem with Cup is they need to make Cup simple, like they have him, or her, because he has a mask on, so you can't tell whether it's a boy or a girl. But they need to make it where the abilities are 100%. There's no reason to have a 65% or a 70% stun chance. You know what I mean? Like, just make it, an AoE stun. That's a really utilitarian ability that you could throw on any team. Make him tankier, that it takes longer, have 40 or 50,000 health and protection, kind of like the Jedi are. And then give his basic to have, evasion down, because cops are trying to keep you from running away, right? So put evasion down on basic, AoE stun, because you're handcuffed, and then like a unique that speeds them up every time there's someone stunned. They get plus 10 speed or something silly. So that way it's a utility character they could throw into any team and it would help out. So he'd actually get used, or she'd actually get used.
Definitely.
What do you think about a Boba Fett lead Zeta with Barrett Zeta and Kylo Zeta with Chase?
It would be awesome as long as your Boba Fett, of course, would be the one that was being cleansed by Barriss. That would work great, because then it would keep your Kylo Ren with his dots, and you just wouldn't use, you just wouldn't want Barriss cleansing off Kylo. But
right. Barriss with her Kylo. Yeah.
But if there's somebody else that's getting the debuffs, like your front lead man, and everyone's debuffing, they're all using debuff teams, you're bound to have, if you have someone like Boba Fett, he's bound to continually have debuffs, which means Barriss is going to continue to cleanse him because he's the lowest health. So that would work potentially.
I'd go Rex, Kylo, Xylo, Darth Nihilus with a chase backup, and yeah, boom.
Sounds cool, man. What about you, Ranger?
I'm so all talked out, man. I can't really. Too much stuff going on. I'm still trying to get all this stuff, so skip me for now.
Okay. So is that all our questions? Is that what we done?
I think that's I think that's it. My God, we got through it.
We got through it, guys. We did it.
My God,
we did it.
Sorry,
we did it.
We did it. Doing that. Gets that question. I'm like, wow.
I know, man.
Lord in heaven.
I don't like to be the guy that asks the questions. I like to be the guy
I have
that
a
answers.
panel if you guys want to answer it. What do you think? What do you think would be the best around Gar Saxon and the new clone commando? The new Empire commando.
Oh, they look wicked.
Yeah, they look pretty decent.
Yeah.
What do you think would be the best if you were gonna run those two together? What do you think would be the best three to go with those guys?
Death Trooper's got to be in there, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Death Trooper.
I think it's
Emperor
Vader.
You're getting the double
Palpatine.
tap, aren't you? Yeah, Emperor Palpatine.
First Order Stormtrooper.
B.
Guys, I need to go now. Otherwise, I will be late for my dinner.
Oh yeah, go ahead, man.
I find your lack of faith disturbing.
I am the Senate.
Yeah. Okay, you
It
go
was
for your
great
dinner,
to be on the
Bella.
show. Have fun.
You too.
And yeah, see you next time.
See
All
you
right,
Bye.
B.
next time too.
See you, Bella.
Okay, so is there any actually before we end the show? Is there any questions that the panel wants to ask each other? Just to kind of have a question each. Remon had a question. Les Remon wants another one, and we just all put in with a question each, and then we go and get some munchies and watch some originals and Vampire Diaries and stuff. You know. We're going to let Ranger have this question first because he's been working really, really hard getting all these questions off screen, and he's not. It's normally like last week it was Grande. He just kind of like Sonic the Hedgehog through them. Yeah, and you're in mid conversation and you're just like getting into the question, and he's just like, "So the next question is." You just kind of left halfway through of answering it or getting into it. But
Well, I know I missed some questions, so I apologize, guys. I was trying to keep the screen on it, and then all of a sudden it updated or something, and like a couple questions disappeared. I'm like, oh god! So I was like, literally
exactly the same to me.
I was cutting and copying, pasting questions, and trying to keep it on a spreadsheet so I could keep track of who was saying what. I was like, oh lord,
Too much volume.
It's not a bad thing.
So what's your question then, Ranger? You could put it out to anybody.
My question is, where are we going to come on our stream?
Dude,
Damn
I
it,
want to come on your stream. It's always Wednesday nights, though, and
hold on. What time Wednesday would work for you if I push the stream back? I will do that for you, my friend.
Dude, that's what Smithie did for this stream, which is super awesome. I can't believe that you would do that. But, I know it's going to sound crazy, but my wife and I teach a premarital course on Wednesday nights for people who are getting married. And so we kind of go through this like 8-week, 10-week course with them and teach them kind of some of the tools. Stay married for a short period of time, rather a longer period of time. It's pretty fun. It's a passion of mine on the side. A lot of people don't know that because I do care about relationships. I think they're like the most important thing in this world that we have is relationships. So I do that, and that's every Wednesday night. And so I will have some breaks in the summer where I'm not doing coursing, and I will have that day off more than likely. So there will be some Wednesdays I will be able to participate, and I'll do it when your guys' stream is happening. I think it makes most sense for me to pop in when I can, and you not change your whole life around me. But I do appreciate that thought process. It's honoring that you would say that.
Well, we're streamers, we're YouTubers, we're both in Team Instinct. I'm just trying to make it happen, man. You're doing all
well, and the other thing is I actually I finally have internet at my house that's faster than dial-up. So I might be able to do some more streaming of my own down the road potentially. I'm thinking of that. I just recently did a stream a couple of days ago, and it was really popular. People love streams because of the interaction, and I do too. So now that I have some internet that's slightly faster than it was, I think that there's a chance I'll be able to start doing more of the live streaming myself, and I'm pretty excited about that.
That's nice. I'll bring me and Granny will come, and we'll bring Finadoodle, the Troll Extreme. It'll be great.
So what doesn't Finn come on this show? Does he not like me?
Didn't you guys join the alliance? Did you guys join the alliance? You guys went to Team Instinct?
No. RSG. Okay. RSG is in the alliance. I am now a member of Team Instinct.
G anymore?
Huh?
Okay. So I don't get it.
I don't know what. What do you mean you don't get it?
So you're saying that the guild is in the alliance, or
yes,
the show?
In the alliance. The show's the show. It's still RSG. All that's the same. Just I myself as a player went to Team Instinct. That happened like a month ago.
Oh, so you left the RSG guild. I mean, I guess. All right. I don't know. All right.
Did you want to? Have another question? As Warrior got one?
I don't know if I'm mentioning. I don't know if I'm talking about something I'm not supposed to be.
No, absolutely not. It's totally cool. I got a very unique opportunity to join Team Instinct, and after much thought and deliberation, I went for it. And they've been great. So I've been very happy. Listen, I love RSG, the guild. I love those guys with all my heart, and I will always be there for them. They know that. This is just an opportunity to join a guild like Team Instinct and to learn a lot. And I am learning a lot from those guys over there, which is making me a better player and I think a better streamer overall, just from the knowledge that these guys drop on you. It's insane. So yeah.
Cool. You have a question, Warrior?
I'm not really sure I have a question for the most part. I enjoy the stream, and I'm just excited and glad to be on. I've been on since, the first stream, and I hope to ever. I just really enjoy it. I like the interaction. I like the panel. Everybody that's on here is very teamwork oriented, and we take turns answering and stuff. So I really enjoy and dig the stream.
What about you, Mike? You got a question that you want to throw to anybody?
Death Trooper. How do I mod him if I'm going to run him under a Nihilus lead, which is probably where I will. Although I do have a Sabine that I'm actually a viable Sabine in Arena. So is there a way I can work the two of them into a squad?
Oh, you're talking health down and the new armor shred. Oh my God, that's an interesting combination. I've yet to hear.
That's a really good.
Because you're destroying their health by 20%, reducing it by 20%, and their armor, you're taking it away. That's wicked. If you could make it work, but I can't even start to think about theory crafting on that without having them.
Mm-hmm.
I played an arena battle earlier with my Rex lead. So it's Rex, Nihilus, Sabine, Xylo, and somebody else. Who's my fifth? I've lost my
Death Trooper. Did you put him in there?
This is bad. You know what? I've run so many different arena squads this week. Right, here it is. So it's Rex, Kenobi, Sabine, Xylo, and Darth Nihilus. That is my current squad as I look at it right now, and that was fun against a Zul team with a Sith Trooper. When she lands that special, it's great. But yeah, I want to work Death Trooper into that as well. Have a think about it. Message me.
Hey, will you do something for me when you're using Sabine and that armor thing? Will you tell me if even though they evade, it still applies that on
they
to
can
an
dodge
evaded?
it.
They can dodge it.
They can dodge it.
Okay, so when you're attempting, if it has to hit them for it to apply, so they're not dodging and it still apply.
Yeah.
Okay, good. That means it's not broken. Hey, that's good.
Right, so my question, we finally got there. This one is to Mike. Name all planets Master Yoda sets foot on in all 6 canon films.
Oh. Is this a trick question? Does he not have feet? Have we seen his feet? Oh. So we've got the soggy planet. What's that one? The soggy swampy planet.
Dagobah.
Dagobah. Yeah.
Tatooine.
So he's there. He's you see, I don't know. I can't name the planets. He has a fight with Dooku on the buggy planet.
Geonosis.
Yeah, I should know that one, really, shouldn't I? Yeah. What's the Wookiees planet?
Kashyyyk.
He's there.
Yep.
You know what? I might call it a day at 50% and say, hey. Where else does it? Oh, hang on. The city planet.
Yeah, Coruscant.
Ooh.
And the last one. What is the last one?
Where
this really tests your knowledge because it's not seen in the film, but it's actually mentioned.
Oh.
And it's episode 2, so I'll narrow it down for you.
Let me give you a hint. It has to do with Sith.
Oh. What? You see,
he travels to the Sith's planet. The Sith planet. Yep.
Which I can't.
But it's not. It's films. It's canon films.
Hang on. Did he go to what planet is Jeddah?
No, he didn't get to Jeddah.
He didn't. He never went there.
Not in the film. So remember, it's just episode 1 to 6. So it's not including any Clone Wars or anything. So it's the 6 canon films.
Oh. No, he didn't go. I was going to say, were we going to say the Death Star? Which I know isn't a planet, but it's as big as one.
It's the size of a moon. That's no moon. You give up?
I'm going to have to give up on that. Yeah.
Anyone else want to put in? Anyone else know what the answer is?
Say that one more time. Say the question one more time.
Was you not listening?
I had a phone call.
Okay. So the question is, name all the planets Master Yoda sets foot on in all 6 canon films. And the ones Mike's answered so far is Dagobah, Coruscant, Geonosis, and Kashyyyk. So there's one more.
That he actually sets foot on?
Yeah. And it's in episode 2, it's mentioned, not shown. So I kind of narrowed it down.
In episode 2. Give me a second.
That's the wet planet. Isn't it?
No, it's not Camino.
Yes, it's Camino.
Is it Camino?
Yeah, because that's where he went to get the clone troopers.
Oh, that's right. Because well, were they in space? Did he actually set foot on the planet? Were they ready to go?
He set foot on it because he had to meet them.
Okay.
Isn't that an oceanic planet?
Mostly, yeah.
Yeah.
So he never actually stepped on it.
He stepped on it. Good lord.
No, he didn't. He stepped on a. It
had a platform.
He never actually went on the planet.
Looked at the planet. Therefore, he stepped on it.
Yeah.
Good God.
Okay, so who knows? He could have gone for a little swim. You don't know that. We don't know what Yoda gets up to in his spare time. But on that note, we're going to finish it. And where can we find you, Warrior?
You can find me every single day on YouTube at warriorfromteaminstinct.com.
Awesome. Make sure that you are checking out his channel. He does some great videos. He does some really great and a lot of detail into his roster reviews. And he's also doing his mod videos, how to beat this team. And yeah, you do quite a lot on that stuff, Warrior.
Yeah, I like arena battles, both in ships and regular. I like in-depth character reviews. I'm working on Boba Fett, Darth Vader, and Nihilus videos. The thing is a bunch of other YouTubers came out with videos recently on those, so I'm giving some time and space between mine and theirs just to let it breathe a little. Plus, I've been really busy with the other arena videos and whatnot.
Awesome. And we also have the Casey Neistat of Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes, Mike.
Hiya.
So what do you do on your channel? What, you know, if you can give an explanation of what you kind of do, where can they find you? And you're pretty much the Casey Neistat of Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. You're the V-blogger.
Yeah, thank you. You can find me on Mike Hunt SWGOH. That's my channel, where I share with you all my joys and a lot of pain. I don't mind putting up the fail videos. You know, as far as I'm concerned, it's part of the game. Sometimes you do lose sometimes.
Yeah.
And I show that aspect of it, and some of them are spectacular. I'm working on my squads. So I have a Zeta First Order squad that I bring out every now and again. Mentioned earlier that I'm experimenting theory crafting with Sabine and where I can use her.
Cool.
So I've said the arena squad. I've also switched out K2 and put her in a Rogue One squad, which again was quite interesting. These are in Galactic War at the moment. They're not quite arena viable, but
okay, cool.
You try them out.
Sweet.
I do that, and yeah.
So make sure that you're checking out his channel, guys. You know, it's as real as it comes when it comes to Casey Neistat / Mike. Yeah, so make sure you're checking him out for that kind of like V-blogging on there. And we also have Remon. Remon, you got a lot of stuff going on recently with the whole Alliance live stream. You want to tell us about that? Okay. Is he not here? Is he gone again? Remon, you there? Hello? Hello?
He's muted. He's probably at work right now doing something.
That's cool. I thought it was my computer then. So, so you can check out in the description below, and you can go straight to Remon's channel, check out his videos. He does a lot of live streaming for the Alliance, and he does some really, really great shows. So make sure that you are checking him out. And last but not least, we have our narrator, Ranger.
That's right. I like pudding. You can check us out at RSG, Reality Skewed Gamers. We have a ton of stuff out there. Lots of videos that you can check out. We stream every Wednesday, Saturday, and Sunday. Sunday being, of course, the Mage Ducky Ship Spectacular Show, where we do nothing but talk about ships. Wednesday stream is all about the latest Star Wars Galaxy Heroes news. And then Saturday is our fun stream, where we just kind of kick back and have a little bit of fun. We still answer a lot of questions, but we just like to be a little bit more laid back and casual with that one. We will be covering a lot of the latest information of the Star Wars Celebration tonight, along with our normal stuff like Mad Libs, things of that nature. So check it out. It'll be a really fun time, and you can find us on YouTube.
Okay, sweet. So I'm going to ask you guys all one big favor at the minute. I'm always on Reality Skewed Gamers, normally every Wednesday night. And when Ranger opens a pack, I cannot stop laughing because he gets the worst stuff possible, right? So currently at the moment, Reality Skewed Gamers have 891 subs. Ranger put out the challenge that by Wednesday, if he can get 1,000 subs on this channel, he's going to spend $100 on chromiums. That's $100 of fun. That, to me, I want you guys to go over and sub to the channel, check it out, watch Wednesday, because we're going to get to that 1,000 subscribers, and then Ranger's going to cry, and I'm going to laugh and do sound effects in the background while Ranger's opening these packs like...
No, don't worry about that. I'll be doing that myself.
And eating his delicious tears, you know. So make sure that you bring along your sub button, a box of tissues, because it's going to be a blast.
Bring some munchies. Bring a drink. Bring some munchies. There'll be popcorn watching material.
Definitely, you know. So,
but only if we get 1,000.
Yeah, you have to help me on this, guys.
Can I add a thing to that?
Are you going to spend $100 too?
If Ranger does get the 1,000 by Wednesday from the shout out here, that he does all the questions in a British accent one week.
Jesus, someone's asking me to do impersonations.
No, we gotta do something better than British. We gotta go to somewhere.
Oh, Australian.
But yeah, guys, if you can go onto the link on Reality Skewed Gamers and subscribe to the channel, because I want to have my $100 of fun. I really want to be laughing with you guys. With Rangers getting cup and.
I think if he reaches the goal, he has to do the next stream with his video cam in an Ahsoka Tano cup.
No, look, I'm already spending $100. I'm not spending more money to buy a damn Ahsoka Tano outfit. Good lord!
I just want to see you in an Ahsoka Tano outfit. That's really.
You can private stream for that.
Yeah, that sounds creepy. I think you're supposed to pay for that.
Yeah, you can private stream for that, guys.
Ranger, you're looking pretty there. Like, oh boy, Raven.
We could talk about that. We could talk about that later.
No, we will never talk about that. Ever.
So let's put this in the chat right now, because they're asking for the link, so we're gonna put that in.
And I actually think that that's not a bad idea. With all the viewers that I have, that you have, that Remon has, that everybody has, he should easily be able to get 100 and something subs added by that time. I say 1,000. He spends the 100 because that's already been established. But if you get to 1,500 subs, which is very doable in the next, that's 500, 600 more subs in the next few days. You can do that, especially with this push. If we can get that extra 600, you should have to speak. You should have to speak in an accent. And you can choose the accent, so that way we don't completely and utterly make you sound like an idiot. You could try to choose an accent you think you can pull off.
No, I'll let the people choose. Yeah. I can do a lot of accents. I can do it in like.
Can you do Zimbabwe?
Zimbabwe.
Yes,
Zimbabwe is from Zimbabwe, so that would be too hard.
No,
they don't. That's not how it goes. That's Jesus Christ.
Can you do a Mumbai accent?
No, just stop
An Indian accent.
Yes, I can do one. Thank you very much.
Okay, let's stop it there. We'll pull that over to the stream. Maybe we shouldn't go into accents or anything right now. But definitely subscribe to the channel. Check it out Wednesday, because I guarantee you,
1,500.
Ranger will be spending $100. And the best of it is, it's not our money, and we'll be laughing at his tears, because he's going to get Sidious. He's not going to get any, base shards. It's all going to be, Sidious, Corp, Adventurous, Savage, all the stuff he's got, and we're just going to be laughing, and he's just like, oh no, what have I got? And for that $100, that would be money well spent, because it would have entertained us all. And on that note, we're done, and we're over, so make sure that you're checking out, and thank you very much for watching. As always, I'm the Smithie D. May the Force be with you, always.